2, 1. Anywhere I'm at, turn the city up. I could flip a dollar to a million. I don't like to brag, but I'm really on. 3, 2, 1. Anywhere I'm at, turn the city up. 3, 2, 1. I don't like to brag, but I'm really on. It's a new day, days been new. Been a decade since I made it out of rental. We some owners, baby, we don't got no rent due. Might trick, but my wife, you like to trick too. Merry Christmas, hey, Saint Nick. What we want, get, we on wait list. How we got here doesn't make sense. Have patience, that'll make sense. 3, 2, 1. Anywhere I'm at, turn the city up. I could flip a dollar to a million. I don't like to brag, but I'm really on. 3, 2, 1. Anywhere I'm at, turn the city up. 3, 2, 1. I don't like to brag, but I'm really on. Picking up the slack, joining this prime way, I'm getting to the rack. I do what I want, when I want, where I want, no cap. Put in all work, now I'm getting to the back. 25-8, I got money on my mind. Live life great, but I'm always on the grind. Navy blue tank, I don't wear it for the time. Real hustle, baby, throw my rollie in the sky.
Get ready for blast off.
Ball pointing cushy, so you know it's berserk. Trevor on the mix, so you know we gon' work. I might leave in one, find the beach and go surf. I'ma ride the wave till I'm out of this earth. 3, 2, 1. Anywhere I'm at, turn the city up. I could flip a dollar to a million. I don't like to brag, but I'm really on. 3, 2, 1. Anywhere I'm at, turn the city up. 3, 2, 1. I don't like to brag, but I'm really.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another edition of Black Men Unfiltered's Flipping Tables. Black man is undisposed at the moment. He's with his family doing family things, and my name is Lit. Lost in Translation Podcast. I will be your host this evening. Before we get started, I'm going to go ahead and start bringing up a few people so we can get this thing going. But I want to recognize a few people in the chat before we get going. First of all, Lady D, welcome to the show. We also got Embrace the Grace in the building, A-Team in the building. We got Boss Man, Take Heed to the Message, Catalia in the building. Yes, indeed. The lovely Melania in the house. Yes, indeed. The Intellectual Soapbox, welcome. Trey, Mr. I don't want to fold no clothes in the building. You know what I'm saying? What's happening, Trey? Of course, you know, Black Men Unfiltered is watching from the clouds. You know what I mean? And we also have marriage, politics, and sports. I'm going to go ahead and start bringing everybody up. Y'all know him. He has his own channel. Y'all put y'all hands together for the one and only Easy Bands. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. How are you today, sir?
I'm well, Lit. Good to be here. I am so happy to be here. Happy to be here with you, man. Salute.
Indeed. Glad you're here, man. Thank you for joining us one more time. Next, we're going to bring up a lady from around the way. Y'all know her. She's from New York. Put your hands together for the one and only Embrace the Grace. Indeed, Grace, how are you?
I'm good. I'm here chilling with y'all.
Good. Now, the next person we're going to bring up, y'all know her as the church lady. Y'all put your hands together for the lady with the baby, Miss Jenny. Hey, Miss Jenny. How you doing, darling?
I'm great. Good to be here.
Doing good. Y'all also know him as the continent. Ladies and gentlemen, y'all put your hands together for the one and only Major Boomer, where there's no other sooner. Put your hands together for our pain in the building.
Hello.
Yes,
good
indeed.
Evening, everybody. Yes, good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Yes,
all
indeed.
Right.
And y'all need to make way. Put your hands together for the queen. Y'all see her. She's cooking breakfast every single morning. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for the queen. Take heed to the message. Yes, indeed. Well, we're going to go ahead and get the how you doings out of the way. We're going to start with Miss Jenny. Miss Jenny, how are you today, ma'am? How was your week so far?
My week has been very productive and eventful, so that's always great. Just a random side note, when you said when you were listing off the people who are watching and you said Catalia, I was like, oh wow, because she's one of my subs as well, and I always call her Catalea. And I'm like, it sounds way better. Like, I'm just so American, and I didn't. So I like that better. It's probably actually how you pronounce it.
Yeah, who knows? Maybe one day we'll get her to come up and have her explain to what it is. You know what I'm saying? We call her some everything. I think Take Heed, what do you call her? You call her something else too, don't it?
Yeah, I do. I do.
So it's not just me.
It's okay, Ma.
She
I
called
thought
her
it was
Catalina.
just me. I thought it was just me. Oh my God. That's funny.
But I
I'm
will
sorry,
tell you this,
baby.
man. I do appreciate it. Every time you look up, she's supporting the network in and out. So we do appreciate her for coming through.
Yes.
Yeah, man. Our Payne, go ahead, man. Tell the folks how you doing, man. Just
I'm
how's the
doing
folks
okay.
doing?
You know, just hanging out. The wife is off today. So, you know, she's still working at the church. I'm trying to get her to retire so we can really hang out together. I think it's
Hey.
me. I don't think she want to be around me that much. That's what I think. You know,
I don't think that's what I think. She love being around you, man. That's what it is. She be bring
yeah,
y'all.
well,
man,
you know what? The house is big enough that she knows what room to be in when I'm not in it. That's all right. No, but we're cool though now. We hung out today, man. We hung out brunch and stuff. So we just had a leisure day. You know, especially after the anniversary, we were going for like 5-6 days. We had a great time. Yeah, we like hanging out together.
Yeah, I know. I was gonna tell everybody, man, y'all just celebrated what, 38 years?
37.
37? That's a long time, man. That's
Congratulations.
a long time. Congratulations, brother.
Right,
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Next, Take Heed. How was your day today, man? You was on there cooking this morning, girl.
Yes, I was cooking, but my king wasn't feeling well, so I was on nurse duty, and I was on braid hair duty today, and I was also on cook duty and cleanup duty. It was a lot. It was a lot today.
Well, I'm pretty sure you had your hands full. Yes,
I
indeed.
did. Thank you.
Indeed. Thank you. Grace, how are you, darling? How was your day so
I'm
far?
good. I'm good. Worked all day. You know, I'm still coming off of my high from my show on Sunday and Monday. It was total mayhem last night, but that's what it is. Monday night mayhem. So it's working for me. But I was just really proud of that show I dropped on Sunday with the Kings, you know, on the panel. I did hit you up, Lit, but you know, you take forever to respond, but it's all good. It's all good.
Well, I did watch the show though, just to let you know. I still watch the show.
I appreciate you. I appreciate you.
Yeah,
Indeed.
The show was good.
Indeed. Izzy Bands, sir, how are you?
I'm well. Getting better every day. I am just happy to be here. Shout out to y'all.
Indeed. Y'all, we're going to talk about the 401k. But before we get started, we're going to start talking about the ratchet news. Did y'all hear about the Chase money glitch that's been going around on TikTok, man?
Oh, shit.
Have y'all seen it? Okay, I got a video. I want to show it with you.
Yes, sir. Seen it.
And I explained to you exactly what happened, but I'm going to give you a video.
Or you don't know exactly what the Chase Bank glitch is, I'm going to explain it to you. It's actually kind of crazy because the media is saying that people are doing this due to poor economic situations and financial hardship due to the economy. But allegedly, some of the reported items that people are purchasing after doing this glitch are G-Wagons, luxury and designer goods, and also paid off extravagant vacations. Obviously, this is all being taken care of by Chase, but what people were doing was going to the Chase ATM machines. I bank at Chase, so I know that when you deposit a check, they will let you either use all of the funds or a portion of the funds until the check clears. It's kind of like Chase's way of saying, hey, we trust you. So some people thought it would be a good idea to deposit $30,000 checks, $50,000 checks. And Chase said, hey, we trust you. And the people were thinking, they're not going to be able to notice because it's Chase. I mean, what's $30,000? $50,000, no big deal. Because Chase's system hasn't caught on to the fact that these checks are not good. They had this available money inside of their bank account. That's when they went and made these extravagant purchases. The checks are not going to clear in just a few days, and that means some serious shit is about to go down for these people. Not to mention, the check was written by them for themselves. It's not like they were using somebody else's check. Where did they think this money was just going to come from? And I guess that's a part of the glitch. Because the story is still unfolding, like currently, within the next week or so, this tea is about to be so piping hot.
Ooh.
Wow.
That's check
Oh
fraud.
Lord.
Ooh. Let's
They
go
going
ahead
to
and get
jail. They
started.
going to jail.
Well, this is a federal crime.
Oh my
Man,
God,
listen.
they going to jail.
We're gonna start with Miss Jenny. Miss Jenny, what did you think when you saw that?
I'm baffled. I mean, I'm really excited to see what's going to come out of this. I don't know. Something like that would have just never even occurred to me, but I'm blown away. I mean, people come up with so many ideas on how to scam and scheme, and it's like if you would just put that energy into honest work, you could actually have $30,000 in your bank account instead of pretending like you do. And I'm just blown away.
Our pain.
You know, I'm going to be interested to see when the demographics come out. You know, how many of these people are going to be black and how many are going to be white and everything else.
Oh,
I just hate to see the perp walk with a whole bunch of brothers and sisters walking down there, man. It's just the stupidest shit in the whole world. You know, the easiest thing to trace is money.
facts.
They can trace from the bank. I mean, from a check from the bank with your name on it. I mean, it's like, you know what? Hey, I'm a criminal, you know. Anyway, I'm glad I didn't see that, man. It's
This is certainly not part of.
Right. Give me a second, y'all. This is the video Black Man wanted me to go. Go ahead, take heed about the video.
Oh Lord, it's just foolishness. It's foolishness. But you know what? It gotta be it gotta be the ones in their 20s. Gotta be.
Has to be.
It was
Gotta
older
be the
folks.
ones in the 20s. It was
No, it
older,
was older
too?
folks too. Yeah.
Lord Jesus. You going to jail. That's all I gotta say. You going to jail. That don't make no sense at all. That make no sense at all. And the thing is that when you go to get a bank account, you got to give your social, you got to give your ID, all this stuff. You got to give where you actually live at, recent mail and shit. All Negroes. Well, you know what? I don't know if it's Negroes. Let me.
Yes, you do.
You know it was Negroes too. You know it was Negroes. Come on now. You know. Come on. You tried it.
You trying to be nice.
Listen, y'all colors be doing that shit now. I can't go to jail. I'm sorry. I'm dragging a wagon. I don't want to go to jail like that. I'm sorry.
Oh my God.
I'm done.
Grace.
They're stupid because eventually it's going to come back to them, and that money is going to have to be replaced. They're going to have to take everything back the way that they bought. And what makes it even worse, that you're going out and buying frivolous things. Pay your rent for the year or your mortgage. Do something that matters so they can at least see you did it through hardship, you know, cry in front of the judge. But how do you explain to the judge, I bought a G-Wagon and paid a luxury vacation off? It was intentional and mindfully. So they're going to get caught just like the people with the PP loans. I got a PPP loan. I didn't get in trouble. Why? Because I paid my rent for the year and groceries and didn't brag. My business was at home. I had my office at home and my employee. So I'm good because I did right with it. When you do right, wrong doesn't come to you. But people like this, they'll get caught. And like Payne said, it's over $500, so that's a felony. And they threw. That's all I gotta say.
Easy bands, sir.
I got to give you a slightly different take.
Come on.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it was stupid. Yeah, all that, right? At the same time, again, I'm gonna restate this. When you got illegal immigrants coming to this country and they getting $15,000 to $20,000 a month and government assistance, who gives a freak for real? Who cares? Like, at the end of the day, this whole system, if that doesn't show you anything else but the hypocrisy, but the lack of concern about the vitriol and the hate that it has for the people who have been here, who are from here, whose land this is. Like, I don't know what does. So, like, at the end of the day, hey, they're going to get what they get, maybe, and maybe they won't. But, like, at the end of the day, who cares? Like, this whole system is based on scheming, scamming, robbing. Ain't nobody righteous. Like, you know what I'm saying? Especially not in the government, especially not that started this thing. It is what it is.
I'm going to let y'all go ahead, Grace. Take heed. Go ahead. You were saying something?
I can't go to jail. I'm sorry. I can't do it. Listen, that money look good though. Right now in this economy, how crazy it is, that money look good, but damn it, I can't go to jail. I'm sorry. Not for no motherfucking car. I'm sorry. I ain't doing that shit. And I'm gonna share something with you. I damn sure ain't gonna do it for a year mortgage either. Because let me share something with you. Even no matter where you put that money at, that judge gonna still say you was stealing.
Of course,
no matter where you put that money at, no matter what you tell that judge what you did with that money, that judge gonna still send your ass to jail. I'm sorry. I can't do
they're gonna say you still.
Yeah, so can I retort? Oh, you still going? Okay.
No, go ahead.
No, I just want to retort a little bit though, Izzy, because I know, I hear what you're saying, and I know you're not really making an excuse for these people, but the real issue really is because they would have more of a case if they were somehow slapping the government for the way the government slapped them. But Chase is a private bank. That's a private bank, That's what I'm saying. So, you can't blame what the government is doing. I mean, you can make your connections. What the government is doing to black folks with the illegal aliens on Chase. You know what I'm saying? So,
well, it's all connected. The FDIC, covers. See, the truth of the matter is the money is insured anyway in the bank, right?
Yeah,
so it's all covered because none of this stuff is real. Like the money is not backed by anything. It's not even a petrodollar anymore. But so all of this stuff is a bunch of illusion, farce, and some bullshit. It's nothing.
You're right, Joe. But here's what you're saying. I'll go with you. If we could get a law firm to set precedent that what you say is why these people should go free, then we change the whole United States. All I'm saying is it's still theft. And even if it's fake money, it's not your fake money. That's how it's going to go down. But it'd be nice to see somebody win a case like saying, here's a justification of why we did it. It's all fiat currency and this is blah, blah, blah. That would be a great argument in court for a movie. But I don't know. That shit ain't going to work.
I'm gonna let y'all know a little secret, man. I work for multiple banks for over 20 years, and I work in the bank fraud department. I'm here to tell you that what we just saw was a scam, and I'm going to tell you why. Whenever you deposit a bank, I worked in data processing. Whenever you deposit a check, there's this thing called float. You got a 1-day float, you got a 2-day float, and you got a 3-day float. And if it's a check that's out of town, it's usually 7 to 10 business days. All right. Now, normally what they do is they only make the first $200 available to you. You know what I'm saying? Until the check clears. My thing is this: who turned off the governor over there at Chase and said you can get whatever it is that you want to get?
Somebody said, man,
somebody turned the switch off. You know what I'm saying? And somebody told. Now, I will tell you this, man. If I wanted to catch a whole lot of people and throw them in jail, I would turn the switch off and then nudge somebody and say, hey, man, go in there and get what you want. Of course, they're going to tell it. You know what I mean?
Put it on social media, put it on TikTok.
Exactly.
So half the black population is going to be gone tomorrow.
If you can prove it, it's entrapment. Yo, listen, Mr. Payne, the Chase lines was around the corner. The people standing in line to steal, Mr. Payne. They were standing in line to steal.
So, Lost, you saying it's an IT issue then?
Of course it is.
That's what it is. So they went out after they did what they did, then they released it all on TikTok. So yeah, that's a young person. Then it's probably a young person.
No. No young person has access to this software. Okay. This is somebody who's been there for a while. That is a global glitch. This is really not a glitch. Somebody turned off the governor. Just think about it. At the beginning of the pandemic, they put in, Joe Biden, your folks put in a rule where people can only take out $500, $600 before you had to report it to the IRS. Remember that? The ATMs only let you take out so much before you have to start reporting it. So that's the reason why a lot of people, when they go pay their rent or whatever, they would take multiple days for them to get it out to pay it if they had to pay by money or something like that. You see what I'm saying? So what happens is that when you take off stuff like that, when you take out that amount, there's a form that you have to fill out. Each person at the bank knows this. You know what I'm saying? Anything over $10,000, it has to be reported to the IRS. Right. And Joe Biden had put it in place where it was $600. And now I think the only reason why they did that was because when they gave out these STEMI checks, these folks wanted their money back. Like I said, there's no such thing as a free lunch. And when them people didn't go right back to work after that, they was like, okay, we're gonna get y'all. You know what I'm saying?
But you know what, Loss? It sounds like something is much worse than that, because check this out. Bank of America, right? If you deposit a check, they only give you $100.
Right.
They only give you $100. TD is like that too.
Right.
So that means somebody did some chucking and jiving to Chase, and that thing has. The thing is, after the pandemic, right? After the C-19, right? They had to go back to what they used to know after C-19 cleared. So that means somebody did do some chucking and jiving in here to make that stuff clear out like that. Because how could a bank clear out a check that big like that and just give them the money? That's nonsense.
And you're not even supposed to make that amount of money available immediately like that anyway.
Right.
That's coming from somebody who worked inside the bank.
That's a fact.
I hope they can.
Let me ask you a question, Lip P. How true is it that that the Congress passed for American citizens to be able to have access to billions of dollars through the bank? Is that a true thing, or is that just something that's floating around the internet?
That's just something floating around.
So there's no real bill pay measure. Now, what I will say is that a couple of friends of mine did have their student loans forgiven to the tune.
Of course, I know a few people that did too.
Yeah. One just got 100 and something thousand. The other one just got like 90 something thousand of student loans forgiven. Just the other day. So
yeah, I know a couple of people that got their student loans, forgiven too, but they've had them for a long time though. You know what I'm saying? I think you had to have over 10 years, and I think this person had over 20 years. Something ridiculous. Like, man, if you're still paying off education for 20 years, is it really paying for itself? We got to start asking questions like that. So a lot of times people like to think that if you work harder, it's gonna reap what it sows. And not always. You don't always get all what you sow. As a matter of fact, I'm going to play this video that a black man just sent me, and he wanted me to share this with y'all. So I haven't seen it yet. So I'm pretty sure it's the reason why he sent it to me. So if y'all don't mind, I'm going to go ahead and bring it up. And I'm pretty sure it leads into the conversation.
Gessick's retirement plan. This is certainly not part of Larry Gessick's retirement plan. The 77-year-old electrician by trade leaves at 5:30 a.m. and heads for his part-time job unloading trailers at a local supermarket in St. Petersburg, Florida for $14.75 an hour. His wife Joyce, 66, prepares for her workday, making $14 an hour as a full-time legal administrator.
It's not really a retirement.
What is it?
It's working every day.
The Gessicks came out of retirement not because they wanted to, but because they had to, and are among the 11 million Americans, 1 in 5 over 65, who are still working.
It's hard, 77, still busting my butt.
So I call it the work, retire, repeat syndrome.
Labor economist Teresa Ghilarducci says work is the new retirement.
More than half of the people who are retired right now do not have enough money to be retired.
Who's to blame for all of this?
I blame policymakers who experimented with our retirement system 40 years ago, and they are not saying the experiment failed.
That experiment is what we know today as the 401k, named after part of a 1978 law that offered companies an alternative to the traditional pension plan.
The thought was that
this is certainly Larry Gessick's
Poor Larry. Poor Larry. You know what? I'm finna bring in somebody who knows a little something about some monies. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Mr. I don't want to fold no clothes. Trey in the building. What's happening, Trey?
What's good with y'all?
Talk to us about this money, man. What's happening, man? What'd you think about the video, man? I'll let you kick it off, man.
I don't feel bad for him.
He was frozen for a second.
Why would you trust the system? Why would they ever have your best interest at heart? I'm gonna tell y'all a real quick story, and I'm gonna get off, right? Because I'm sweating. So work out. But let me tell y'all something. When I was in the academy, they brought a bank in, like a credit union, to like get us started and basically to get all the young officers money. Put your money with us, because you know banks, they invest your money, right? So we know that, right? And they had these retirement programs. And I'm reading, and I'm looking at the interest rates, and I'm looking at how long they want to lock your money up and all this. And I'm reading it, and I'm like, I'm not doing this, right? And so the lady, she's a nice lady, she's walking around, and she's like, oh, she's like, you know, you didn't fill out your paperwork. I was like, yeah, I'm not interested. And she says, why are you not interested? I said, because y'all robbing them. I said it loud, too. Y'all robbing them. Do you know the sergeant and lieutenant came in there and was like, hey, come here. And pulled me out of there. Because there's a system in place, and that system does not benefit the people that are putting the money in. It never has, it never will. You have to take control of your retirement. You have to be in charge of your investments. You put your money into a 401k and you have a 2008 situation and everybody's losing money because you're not paying attention. You have to be in control of your own retirement. I tell people all the time, you need to start looking into dividend stocks. Dividend stocks might be a better avenue for a lot of people, but they don't want to go that route. So I want to feel bad for them at the same time. Were you asleep at the wheel? Because see, they make it easy too, Lost. They take it right out your check. So you ain't even gotta worry about it. You ain't even gotta worry about it. They take it right out of your check. You ain't even thinking about it. Right? Whole time they're investing your money. Anybody ever ask if they take your money and they invest in Coca-Cola, and every 3 months Coca-Cola gives a dividend, where your money at?
They get it.
They took it.
They get the company gets
and
it.
They call it management fees. So when you really start to do the math, you really start to pay attention, you'll realize that these so-called systems, these policies, were never in effect to help the working taxpayer in America. That was never what this was about. This was about keeping the rich rich.
Absolutely. Payne, you next, sir. What did you think about the video? About the man working until he about to pass out, you know?
Well, I have real life experience for that, right? In 78, when the 401ks came out, I was still in college, but by the time the defined compensation plan started to phase out, when the companies gave you a pension, I started working for the government, for the Department of Defense. But I was grandfathered into the defined retirement plan. It gave me 80% of my high 3 grade salary. Yeah, 80% of you. So the higher you got, the more money if you work for 40 years. But then when the 401k came around, they wanted everybody to switch. So in the government, they put out this thing about this great new program called the Federal Employment Retirement Service System. And I couldn't understand where it benefited me, so I didn't sign the form.
Smart man.
Oh my God.
Smart man.
I still have the form, and I framed it where I put no as my answer. Because
I know you happy you did.
You damn right, man. So I still had a 401k plan that I put, the money in just like anybody else, but I didn't get matching. So when you switched, they gave you a reduced defined retirement down to 30%. Then you had to make up the difference with your 401k plan because they match 5% of your money. But most people's real life circumstances didn't let them put, and some people neglected it because they didn't train you on that. That's the thing. They didn't really emphasize as part of the onboarding activity that if you don't put money in this thing, it's going to go south, right? And, so most people didn't put money in it anyway. And then Social Security was involved. I didn't pay into Social Security, just the Medicare part. So I didn't pay into the regular Social Security. So my retirement plan that's why I'm saying the government can't fail. That's why this election is important, because I get my check from OPM, so I don't want, so I'm a real American, man. I have the flags and everything. I am a real American. We gotta save this country by all costs. That's where my money comes from. But my retirement could take care of me because it was from a defined plan. But I have a 401k, and I did what Trey talked about. I switched that shit over to my own IRA, and it's all invested in dividend stocks.
That's the best way to do it because that money
You know,
multiplies
so,
and it compounds.
so and that's what I've trained my daughters up to do, and a couple of folks, young folks in my family. So yeah, so this is the 401ks really didn't fail you if you use them properly, but a lot of people just didn't put money in them. They're not,
OPM. OPM
Okay,
means
somebody
other
asked
people's
OPM.
money. Other people's money.
I mean, but what I'm saying is a lot of folks, like my daughter's one of her jobs, the job she's on, they match up to 10%, but she's not relying on that. She's got like a Roth IRA, and she got all this other shit going on. But you have to invest in that or else you're gonna get caught out there because that's your retirement. Most people don't see it because most people live for now. And then of course life circumstances make it difficult for you to save the amount of money that you need to.
Like a lot to them people, man. Talk about office of personnel and management. What the hell?
Yeah, that's right, man.
That's a nice way of saying it. I get it. That's a nice way of saying it.
But it's taxpayers' money that pays me back. But you know what? I dedicated a lifetime to you guys, man. Keep you safe for democracy. Y'all go to bed at night. It's just falling apart now, but
thank you for your service.
Okay. Easy man. What did you think about the video, man? Working until you can't work no more, man.
Man, I think it's sad.
Yes.
There was a few things that a person told me, man. My mentor, if you don't have a plan for yourself, someone else has a plan for you, and you ain't gonna like it. You know what I'm saying? And also perfect planning prevents piss poor performance. So at the end of the day, while you're working, since you have to work, most of us anyway, the main thing is to, like you said earlier, and like the brother Trey and the brother Payne seem to have discovered early, you have to find ways for your money, like you were saying earlier, Lit, to work for you as well as you're working for your money. That's the most important thing, because if your money is not working for you and you're trading your time for dollars only, you're in trouble, because at the maximum, you only have 24 hours in a day. So you have to learn how to be able to leverage your money, and for your money to make money or earn money, and earn money while you sleep, if you're sick, if you're not feeling well. And that's the goal. So yeah, I think it's sad. I think that people have been sold a dream, and the American dream has really become a nightmare. You know what I'm saying? Notice now no one ever talks about the American dream no more. It ain't no 2 kids and no white picket fence no more. You ain't heard that in a minute, have you? Nah, you ain't heard it because it's a damn nightmare. So I mean, these interest rates, these predatory lending practices, credit cards, all types of this and that. I mean, unless you understand how to leverage the money and make it work for you, it's a sad situation.
That's right. Miss Jenny, what did you think when you saw that? See, you're young. You know what I'm saying? You got a chance to do something different. You know what I'm saying? What did you think about the video?
A lot came to mind. So just to briefly touch on the last video, I was thinking about how I'm surprised it didn't come to me when you first asked me what I thought about that first video. But just the other day, my dad, he had to deactivate his debit card because he had a $52 fraudulent charge for Pizza Hut. And I'm like, why are you going to go through the effort of taking somebody's debit card information just to buy Pizza Hut? I mean, what in the world? So like these people who waste their free scam money on a G-Wagon. But anyways, going back to this video, another thing with my dad is that, so my dad is a lot older. My dad, he's 85. Wow. And back before, he recently sold his house, the house that I grew up in. And before that, he was really drowning in the house because it was a really big house. I have 4 siblings. And so we had a really nice house growing up. And, once all of us grew up and we all moved out, he had a lot of house for one person. And he didn't know if he wanted to sell it or not. But he was pretty much forced out because he was like, I can't afford this. And he had to go back to work back when he was probably like in his late 70s, early 80s. Wow. And thankfully, he sold his house just, maybe about almost a year ago now. And now he's totally debt free. All he has is his car note and I think his phone bill. And he is just, living it up, He's on cloud nine. He lives with his sister now. And so now he doesn't pay anything. And so I'm so happy for my dad now. But yeah, he was living like Larry, not too long ago. And I felt bad for him. I'm like, man, shouldn't be this way. And so my plan is, because introduced me as, the Bible lady. My plan as of right now is the oldest retirement plan in the book, which is have 15 kids, and then one of them is going to take care of you when I'm old.
That's how you do it, Miss Jenny.
I don't know. Oh Lord, good luck.
Time memorial for generations.
I don't want to rain on her parade. Oh Lord,
that's right. I got you.
22. Oh
Lord. Take heed. Talk to me. When you see the video, what did you think?
I felt so bad. Wow. Because this is my parents. I felt so bad. My mom, my mom is mentally ill and she can't take care of herself. My father is ill as well and he can't take care of himself. He barely gets by and he struggles a lot. But I remember when me and my king first got married, he told me we will retire in Nigeria. We won't stay here in the States because we won't be able to stay afloat. I'm looking at your parents and I see the writing on the wall. So my king built a home in Nigeria. The first couple of years we just got married. So we have a big house in Nigeria. So we're going to retire there. And we're going to take our business and just open up something down here. And probably a shopping center because you can buy stuff down here. Our money triples like crazy in Nigeria. So we just going to go and retire. Whatever we got, we're going to take with us. And the kids going to be grown. So we just going to live it up in Niger and that's it. Because we already made plans, we already have our house built, so that's the retirement plan for us. Yeah,
that's what's up, man. You got a husband that's looking out for the future. He done looked and used his vision to look into the future and say, you know what, I'm going to set something aside for my people on another continent.
I love that though, because you want to know why? I always tell my king it's gonna be hard because when we travel home, I always feel like the outsider. The kids be all easy with it, but I always feel like the outsider. And my king told me, "You are Nigerian by touch." So I always laugh, But that's the plan that we're going to Niger because you could barely live here. Like the house we live in right now, when we bought this house, it was 225. This house right now is 554. Three bedrooms, 5 baths. I'm sorry, 5 bedrooms, 3 baths right now. And this house is expensive. It's crazy. So we sold this house right now. Whoever get it, gonna pay at least $4,000 to $5,000 a month, and that's crazy right there.
Right.
But nobody listens to the experts about housing crisis. Nobody listens to that, and now people still trying to buy houses in this economy right now. Can you imagine? I'm done. I'm finished.
No, you good. I appreciate that. Grace, video. What do you think?
I think it's sad. I know exactly the grocery store he works at because that's my part-time job.
What?
And I've been there 10 years and I keep it because of the stock that I have at that company. That's going to be my retirement. I do 2 days a week. I'm trying to get it down to 1 day a month when my YouTube pop off. I got property in DR. Thank God for my mom and dad. So I have my backup plan. If the shit hits the fan here, my passport's on standby. I'm out. And the job that I do now, I can literally take and still work in DR because we're remote. So I dabble in stock, but the video is sad because once again, the government lied to us. And we believe so much in the government to take care of all our affairs that's the problem. We rely on him to take care of our issues, but we won't rely on each other. Because at the end of the day, that's who's gonna be there in the trenches, not them. They're gonna be in their bunkers, well off, still eating good, while we out here scrapping, and we need to unite now. But we won't. We won't, because a lot of us are selfish with our knowledge. A lot of us don't want us to come up. A lot of us have the crabs in a pot mentality and don't want people to come up. And that's why I say, women, make yourself useful, because when the day happens and you have no use for the tribe, you will be kicked out the tribe. So, you know I'm going to be the one cooking. So y'all men can do all the hunting. Just bring all the water buffalo, everything over. I'll season it up and cook it for y'all. I got y'all. Okay? But again, we got lied to, and we just need to start doing our own research, learning for ourselves.
Absolutely. Here's the thing. There's always the upfront view of what they tell you, and then there's always the back end, what really happens. I got a video that explains the front end of the business, and also got another video that explains the back end of the business. This is what they tell you when you get the 401k, when you sign up, when they bring you into your little job. They ask you, well, what is a 401k? And then they give you this video.
What is a 401k?
All right, really quick. Company-sponsored retirement plan. Couple advantages. You take money out before it gets taxed. So that's gross dollars that go into this savings account for retirement. The other thing is, if the company has you vested, meaning you've been working there for a number of years, 1 or 2 years, they're going to match. You put away $1,000 a year, they're going to match $1,000 a year. It grows, and then when you're old, you get to pull the money out and spend it.
Gotcha. Thanks.
You know what? I wish it was that simple. I wish it was that simple. That's what they tell you on the front end. But on the back end, this is what really happens. This is what millionaires and billionaires know about the 401k.
Out there, they go, oh, I have a 401k. Well, you've been sold a bill of goods, sweetheart.
Unfortunately, he's right. Even the creator of the 401k has called it a monster that should be destroyed. Meanwhile, so many Americans are sticking their cash in this prison where they literally can't touch it, can't do anything with it without huge penalties. And they don't even realize there's huge fees associated with these plans. And they're deferring their taxes, which is terrifying because our country is $31 trillion in debt. I'm willing to bet taxes are going to go up. Fortunately, there's a premium strategy that used to only be available to those with a $5 million net worth that now is available to everyone that qualifies. This strategy allows you to access your cash at any time, gives you a tax-free retirement income that is projected to produce 3 times more than traditional accounts. If you're ready for this strategy, text READY to 30500.
All right.
Yeah, but
that's
what
they tell you in the back end. You know what I'm saying? That's what they don't tell you in the back end. Also, I got one more video. This is from other people who have talked about other people with the 401k.
A lot of money in my 401k.
Okay, I'm sorry for you.
Why do you feel sorry for me? It's a way to put money in without paying taxes on it.
It's a way for you to be trapped for 30 years.
Well, you can pull it out when you're
63. How old are you right now?
50.
13 years from now, will taxes be higher or lower?
Higher.
You will wish you would have sold them when you were 50 because you'd pay lower taxes, dude.
You don't pay any taxes when you pull out money out of your 401k if you wait until you're 63.
When you start using that money, you're going to pay taxes, bro. You weren't charged taxes while it sat there. What's wrong with you? You're not.
IRS allows penalty-free withdrawals from retirement accounts after the age of 59 and a half.
Penalty-free, not tax-free. So they're going to charge you a penalty. They're going to put handcuffs on you to sell it before then. But dude, when you're 63 years old, when you start withdrawing, you're going to start paying taxes at that point.
Yeah, you're right. 401k withdrawals are taxes in.
Exactly.
That's what they don't tell you on the back end. Trey, is he telling the truth?
Yeah,
he absolutely is telling the truth. By the way, those 2 people that you showed the video, one is Robert Kiyosaki, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. You should have read it.
Right.
And the other one is Grant Cardone, the 10X guy.
Right.
You can go either way with him, right? But both of them understand money very well. That's one thing for sure. They both understand money very well. And the one thing that they both agree on, they don't agree on a lot together because I've seen their podcast together. They got into it. But one thing they do agree on is taxes.
Right.
And how to not give them. Listen, you have a fundamental duty as an American citizen to not pay taxes. I'm going to say that again. You have a fundamental duty as an American citizen to not pay taxes. It is your job. It is your right to find every which way you possibly can to not pay taxes. If you look at the tax code, it's a big old book full of things. It ain't but that much in it that say what you can't do. Everything else in that book is telling you what you can do. You're not supposed to do this stuff. So that's why when they gave Trump this hard time about paying taxes, I'm like, well, y'all wrote it and y'all benefit from it. He just exposed y'all. That's all he did. But we already knew it anyway. Anybody was up to it. At the end of the day, Grant Cardone and Robert Kiyosaki are trying to get you to understand that the way the American system works is if you make the money, you're going to get taxed on it. If you spend the money, you're going to get taxed on it. If you invest the money, you're going to get taxed on it. If you withdraw the money, you're going to get taxed on it. If you save the money, you're going to get taxed on the interest. We are working. That's just the economy we live in, which is everything, every which way, they're going to tax your ass. That's how it works. So what you have to do is find a way to not only beat the tax situation, but you have to find a way to beat inflation and beat the cost of living and where you live at. If you can beat those three things, you're doing all right.
Right. So I'm kind of in the middle. I don't hate the 401k, but if you know how to use it, I would vote against maxing it out, but I wouldn't vote against having it at all, depending on how your tax strategy is, because it is something you can't touch for a long, long time. Then they came up with the Roth IRA. I don't know if you're going to get into that. That has some merits because it's regular money. It's already taxed. So when you start taking that out, it's tax free.
Right.
So my daughters have a combination of both of those, right? And then they have a regular brokerage account. But what I did when I switched my 401k into a rollover into my own E-Trade account, right? I can trade. I can get there's no taxes on the dividends, because I'm not taking a withdrawal. So you could trade and do all that stuff without taxes. However, since I'm 66, at some point when I'm 50 or 73, Lord willing, right, they're going to make me take distributions so they can tax that shit. But in a Roth IRA, there's no such requirement. So that's why young folks get taxed on a tax rate at your age. Because if you blow your Roth IRA up and you make a couple of millions of dollars with good investments and dividends, when you start taking distributions of 59.5, it's tax free. And then there's no mandatory minimum at all because it's tax free. So you already paid your dues. So there's strategies like Trey said, that where you don't want to pay taxes. So but you have to have a common. Some people get into real estate and some other kind of stuff, but it just depends on where your head's at. And businesses. But the key is you got to put some money somewhere as opposed to just spending that shit.
Absolutely. Izzy Bands, what did you think about the video, bro? I think he's dead.
Yeah, he'll be back.
Jenny, what did you think about the videos?
I'm learning a lot. I mean, I guess as most of you guys know, I'm a housewife, so I don't really work. I do pet care, but a lot of that is through cash. And so my husband, he has a job that has a 401k, and I thought that was great. I thought, oh, cool. You do the matching and we'll have retirement. And I mean, I don't know anything. So now we have something to talk about tomorrow. So I'm just here to listen right now. I've got that information that I can give.
Right. Grace, what did you think about the videos?
I mean, again, if you want to be a millionaire, you got to learn from millionaires. Okay, we not gonna learn from Junebug and Pookie. Okay, so and that's the mistake that we do. We don't they share their information, but they charge good money to charge their information.
As they should.
But the game is to be sold, not told.
That's right.
But at the end of the day, I hate to say this, and I'm not being biased, but us melanated folks don't have money discipline. I did a show on that where the black dollar lasts 6 seconds in the black community. 6 seconds, and we spend 1.8 trillion million dollars. 25% of that is on luxury goods. But we don't have a will, we don't have a trust, we don't have funeral arrangements taken care of, we don't have life insurance. Like Payne said, we only plan for next weekend. We don't plan for the future, and that's why we find ourselves stagnant. And I get looked at funny when I talk about that, because I help people with credit repair. And if people just really understood the importance of, I ran my car rental business with just having good credit. I bought 4 cars in 1 month. Walked into the dealership, 850 credit, boom, boom, boom. Let's say 2 in 1 week. I waited another week and got 2 before they reported it to the credit bureau that I bought 2 cars. And that was residual income. I was sleeping when my cars were being rented. And that's the problem. We don't think that way. We think about keeping up with the Joneses, driving the nicer car, not living within our means. Then we got the husband 16, 17 hours a day out the house. Then you're complaining that he's never home with the kids. I mean, what are we doing over here? Are we really trying to live? Are we just going to survive, or we're going to thrive? And unfortunately, a lot of us are just trying to survive, and a lot of them are thriving. And it's unfortunate. But I like the video because they did say a lot of good stuff.
Thank you. I got one more video, and I'm gonna bring up my special guest. I'm gonna go ahead and play this, and you guys tell me what you think.
What is a 401k?
Hold on a second. That's not it. Give me 1 second. Here it is.
401k works in 60 seconds. So here we have John, and John just got a job with Pineapple, and his boss asked him, "Hey, have you ever heard of this thing called a 401k?" He's like, "No, what is that?" He said, "Well, John, every time you get paid, you want to put some of your money into this special jar. And when you do that, we're going to match you. It's like a present. We want to keep you around." Now, the crazy thing about this jar is that it's not just any type of jar. It's not just safe. But what happens is you can get investments here. And so now you can start investing in stocks and bonds and different things. And what happens is when you do this over 30 years, eventually your jar grows and you have money for retirement. And now you no longer have to work because you got money working for you. And so everybody's happy about this, because what Pineapple didn't tell John is every time that they put money in there, it's a tax write-off. So they get a benefit for it. But also, John is pretty happy because now retirement, he doesn't have to work anymore. He has this 401k that he can start taking money for every time that he needs it. But what they didn't tell John was that, hey, you never pay taxes on this. Anytime you take some money out, make sure you got to pay Uncle Sam. So if you like this information and you want to learn different accounts where you can get compound interest, I'm actually starting an online community, and it's going to be invitation only. So if you're somebody who is interested and you want more information, do me a favor, comment community below, but also let me know what you want to see next.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for the one and only The Angry Man.
Oh, there you go.
Yes, indeed. Welcome to the show, brother. How are you today?
Doing all right. How y'all?
All right.
Pretty good. How much of the show have you seen so far, AM?
I didn't really see that much. I just came in.
Okay. Well, basically, we're just talking about how 401k is a scam and what people need to do to get around that. You know what I mean?
Well, I'm saying, do our Payne have a 401k?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I tell you everything you need to know right there.
Oh, and we're
off.
Yeah, I do.
Nothing that a boomer does, don't do that shit. Anything a boomer bought into, don't buy into that shit.
Okay. So yeah, but you know what? I'm not gonna. You know what? BMU tried to get me into some kind of trick bag yesterday. I'm not falling for it. Actually, I do have a retirement as well. So 401k is just a fraction of what I have. So
401k is bullshit.
That's fine. I mean, that's what you're telling them, but you got to give people the alternative of what they need to do. That's what we need to hear. Just like that one guy in the video, he says, "I got something for you." but he didn't say what it was. We need to tell people.
You got to pay for it.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. I know. So what I would say is for everybody who has angst for the 401k plan, I don't have no problem with that because of what it does to you. But tell them something else. Tell them what they need to do instead. Don't leave people hanging. Let them know what they should be doing.
This is what they need to do.
There you go.
They need to make more money.
And spend less money so they can put that money to work.
They need to make more money because you can't, in this day and age, especially after the housing crash, you can't save your way to anything, because right now the current rates that you're getting in the average bank, if you're not putting your money in a high yield account, you're not going to be able to beat inflation as far as saving, right?
True.
In fact, if you get a high yield account, I think the highest rate you can get right now is probably like 4.25%, maybe if that.
4.5 in some places, yeah. But you're right.
4.5 where?
E-Trade has a 4.5 one.
Who has 4.5?
E-Trade has a 4.5 account. I know that for a fact. But but you're right, it's rare. You got to look for that kind of stuff.
What's the fee schedule on that?
It's very low. It's very low. It's very low. I mean, I just don't. It's just a 4.5. I've been seeing it work, so it's not no heavy fees.
Gotcha.
So yeah, like you're not going to be able to the days of actually saving from the time that you're in your early 20s until you retire and now you got a nice little nest egg. Those days are gone, and I don't think they're ever coming back. So the first thing that you got to do is you got to be able to generate more money, because it's kind of pointless for you to try to save money or invest money if you don't have enough disposable income, because you're going to save it. You can try to discipline yourself to save it and invest it, but you're eventually going to have to dip into it if you don't have enough disposable income. You feel what I'm saying? That's, one of the things that the boomers didn't teach us.
You got boomer envy. You got boomer
envy.
Boomer envy?
Go ahead, Angry Man. Forget
Boomer envy is like saying happy STI. Like those two things don't go together, bro.
That's man. Okay. I should have said that. I don't want to get you started, man. I was just watching your live, man. Leave us alone, God damn it.
Now you can get a higher rate. You can get a higher rate of return if you're into crypto. If you're into crypto and you get a specific type of if you get a specific type of coin, you can stake whatever you have. You can stake a certain amount of money in it, and you can actually get a higher rate of return on that. But
there's some issues in New Jersey. If you live in New Jersey, has some issues with that.
Well, it depends on which one you mean as far as just the state that they're in?
Yeah, New Jersey has some shit about that, man.
I mean, at the end of the day, that's their fault for living in New Jersey in the first place.
I'm a boomer. I'm in New Jersey. That's 2 strikes. I'm lobbing you the third ball, man.
Okay, so first of all, R-Pain, let's just go ahead and clear the air real quick, bro. There are people that are trying their best to escape New Jersey.
Hey, wait a minute now. I'm from Jersey too.
The entire population, in fact. Okay.
Oh, please.
So let's stop it. Let's stop it.
Let's go. Trey, you saw the video, man.
When have you ever heard somebody say, I've never seen I have never in my life, I've always seen I love New York shirts. I've never seen a I love Jersey shirt in my life. I've never seen
that. You see the hate? You see the hate, Pain? We from Jersey?
No, there was this one episode of Jersey Shore when I think they made those.
Let's try not to encourage him. Let's try not to encourage him. Let's move on.
Trey, you saw the video, man. What you think?
I was stationed at McGuire Fort Dix, Joint Base McGuire Fort Dix. Jersey's a shit state. I couldn't wait to get out there. It's just true.
Trey, don't come to my lives no more. Don't come to my lives no more, sir.
There from
I'm gonna block you.
The end of 2007 to 2010, and when they gave me orders to go to Turkey, I was on the first fucking plane out of there. I couldn't wait to leave. But anyway, look, I think most people know 401ks are shit. And, listen, at the end of the day, our pain is saying, well, we got to tell them different. Why don't you do some research? Like, why don't we as a community have a thirst for knowledge? Right? Like I wasn't taught about investing, taxes, or credit growing up. None. But I had a thirst for knowledge. I wanted to know more because I was watching other people who were doing it. I wanted to know how they were doing it. How are y'all doing this?
A thirst for knowledge?
Yeah.
Niggas don't read.
I know. So one of the issues we need to address is why the mentoring that I do, I capped it at 18. I don't want to deal with none of y'all adults. I only deal with kids because there's still a hunger to want to learn there with them. You deal with adults, sometimes, most times I think they know it already. You know so much, but you still working a 9 to 5. I don't think you know as much as you think you know. Right?
You know what I think it is,
my
Trey?
goal from the moment I got out of the military was I wanted to be done working by 40. So that means I had to delay gratification a lot. That means that I didn't get to go out. I didn't get to spend money the way I wanted to. I didn't get to hang out. I didn't get to buy the clothes or the car or the really nice apartment or house that I wanted to. I had to do a lot of things, right? And I made some good investments, Tesla being one of them. I made some good investments along the line, right? But at the end of the day, we're not doing enough for the young ones and teaching them about money and investing enough so that they understand. They got all these games of Monopoly. How you not playing Monopoly with your kids? You got all these games that teach them about investing and learning about money, but we don't want to do it. And then we get upset. We get upset because we feel like the government tricked us into a 401k. No, you just didn't do your work.
This is all they got to do. Any young person that's watching, if you're in your early 20s and you're working, all you gotta do is go on your phone, pull up an app called Vanguard. Download Vanguard.
It's good.
Go in there and get you a S&P 500 ETF. You can get the total stock market ETF, or you can get whichever one you want to pick, and just put $100 in there every time you got an extra $100 and don't touch it. And I guarantee you'll get anywhere from 8 to 10%, 12 if you're lucky, over time. You just got to put it in there and not touch it, and just let it sit, and just keep adding to it. And before you know it, you'll have a nice little nest egg that, you don't got none of those freaking restrictions that come with a 401k or a Roth IRA or any of that stuff.
Not to mention it's liquid. You know what I mean? You can get to it like you need to. Miss Jenny, that sounds familiar. What we talked about backstage, don't it?
No, see that, but what Trey said and what Angry Man just said is what just point people in the right direction. They do need to do their own research. So I don't have any arguments about that. But yeah, I'm just saying, in my family, I don't, it's so incredibly hard to get Black folks to actually think about investing their money, even a little bit, that $100 like I was talking about. So I try to get to my nephews and my nieces who are just starting their jobs, and I kind of bypass their parents to say, listen, you're just starting to work. If you're going back home, here's a couple of things you could do while you have the grace of being in your parents' house, because they're probably not going to make you pay maximum rent. So this is what you need to be doing. So it's one of those crusades that I'm on. you know, just to be honest, full disclosure, I don't tell them not to put any money into the 401k. I just tell them, you know, just if you're going to do anything, just at least go to the matching, and all the rest of it have investment that you can get to before you're 59 and a half, you know, and that kind of stuff. So, I mean, there's just a lot of different ways to do it. But again, there's pros and cons to almost anything you can do. And I think if one of those investments, a Roth IRA is a good one because it's already tax money. And if you actually grow one, you will, that tax-free money when you're older will give you the flexibility you wouldn't have just by taking distributions from anything else. Even the pension.
Can I ask a question real quick? So let's can we talk from the standpoint if the system shuts down, meaning if we have another market crash, right? Because you know that's somewhat inevitable, right? So most of the investment instruments that we're talking about all depend on the market. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So what are some investment or money earning, money multiplying strategies that do not rely on the market? What would y'all say in this day and time?
Crypto.
That's still crypto's still you know, yeah, I got crypto. Crypto is still, you know.
No, it
I'm
isn't.
gonna tell you like this: crypto does funny things.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. I'll explain to you. Sometimes when the market is bad, you know, people look for crypto to hide their money. You know what I'm saying? It's a place where it kind of escapes inflation. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times people don't pay attention to stuff like that. But I will say this: there are other investments that you can look at. And like I said earlier, it's too much to get into tonight. A lot of times people forget about stuff like futures. You know what I mean? Sometimes people bet on futures on oil, soy, all kind of other stuff that we don't get into. But those are some of the things that you can look at too. But my thing is this: we have to start with baby steps. How do you teach a kid? Like you said, we got a bunch of people that needs to learn how to do this. It's like when I talked to Miss Jenny backstage. I said it doesn't take a lot to get started. I said get you something like a Robinhood account, put $5 in it and play with it. You know what I'm saying? And just add money to the AM just said that. He wasn't even backstage when he just said what he said. So Miss Jenny, what we talked about backstage when we were talking about starting out small and watching whatever it is that you're going picking a stock and watching it to learn how to invest.
Yeah, you were just saying how you had just put you put $5 in Apple and it rose 20%. And it's like, man, you know, if I had put 100K, then, you know, I'd have 120K, right?
Right.
And so, yeah, you know, it's just a matter of, you know, doing what you can. And I think that what I was saying backstage was that, you know, people who don't make a lot of money, they don't feel the need to have a financial advisor or to get serious about their money quite yet, because they're like, well, I don't really have a lot of money, and you know, when I get more money, I'll be more serious with it. But it's like you're never going to get to that point if you don't start getting serious with it now. Like if you're making if you're making between $10 to $15 an hour right now, then now is the time for you to start tracking your money, knowing where all of your dollars are going. You know, like putting the $5 in Robinhood, saving your money to have an emergency fund, because most people don't have an emergency fund. Most people are 4 flat tires away from a financial catastrophe. And you know, little stuff like that. And then, you know, then one day you might actually get somewhere and be in a position to where you can have you know, a trust or a fund or whatever. But you know, you just have to start somewhere. You can't just accept defeat and say, oh, well, you know, most people are middle class and I'm like most people, so I'm just gonna be middle class. And it's like, you could, but I mean, why just be complacent and content with mediocrity?
Absolutely. I think a lot of times when people think about money, it's one of those things that if I admit to somebody that I don't know what I'm doing, I'm gonna be embarrassed or be ashamed. Trey, how do people get over stuff like that? And say, for instance, somebody just starting out, they don't know anything about anything. You got people saying, hey, you know, you should start investing, and you have no idea what you're missing. What do you suggest to somebody who started from scratch, who don't know anything?
I would ask them a very simple question. Are you tired of being embarrassed, or are you tired of being broke? Which one?
Right.
Because if you are cool with being broke, then I can't help you. yeah, you're gonna be embarrassed. I didn't know nothing about the stock market either. I was 19 when somebody sat me down and taught me. I didn't know anything about it. You have to be willing to learn. I would say this: you not only have to be willing to learn, you have to have an open mind about investing, and you have to have an ability to understand risk and reward. You will lose if you're investing. You're going to lose. I don't know of any investor that didn't lose any money. That's perfect. That has a perfect record. At some point in time, you're going to take a loss. You have to understand a risk appetite. And if anybody who's teaching you anything about investing isn't talking about risk and potentially losing money, and I would run away from them, because there is a possibility that you can lose money. But if you want to learn, you have to get past that embarrassment, because we've all gone through it. We've all gone through it. I don't think anybody was born with investment, credit, and tax knowledge. Right? We all had to learn at some point in time, and especially within our community, because a lot of the parents don't sit you down and teach you about these things at an early age. And so for me, one of the things I did with my son and my daughter, I always gave them the dad tax. Every time they got something that they want, I either took a bite of it or I took some of it first, and I always said it's a dad tax. I wanted to get them to get used to. You're gonna have to pay for everything. Got him used to it. My son is a little bit older now; he gets it. My daughter, she's younger, she's 5. She just catch an attitude, but we work it out.
Indeed. I'm gonna go ahead and bring up Boss Man. Boss Man, welcome to the show, sir. Boss Man, you invisible. Can we see you, brother?
Yo, you talking about losses? I lost $20,000 when they elected Joe Biden.
Wow.
You too? That's it?
Yeah, I lost 20. I lost 20 racks because R-Pain voted for Joe Biden.
Joe
Biden. And R-Pain still ain't figured out that Biden ain't on his ticket. He gonna go vote for him again.
Here's another tip for the young folks. If you have a decent credit rating, get you a apply for the Apple credit card, because the Apple credit card, once you get it and you go into the Apple credit card app, it offers you the opportunity to open a savings account. The savings account on the Apple card that's attached to the Apple card gets 4.4% interest. Pays out it adds it to it every month.
That's cool.
Can I say this real quick? Because I want to answer Izzy's question, because it's a good question about how to make money outside of it. One thing I do want to say, though, within the market, there is a way to make money when the market is going down. And that's a strategy that we need to be teaching our community, that just because you seeing red numbers don't mean you can't get paid.
You're talking about options?
Make a lot of money.
You're talking about options?
I'm talking options, yeah.
Sure.
I'm talking puts specifically. And if you go and watch the movie The Big Short, The Big Short is a really good example of how they got rich off of a declining housing economy. And they made billions of dollars off of this, to one point to where the guy, he felt sick about it. I don't think he really felt that sick, but he portrayed in the movie that he was sick about it. It made it make him feel good as he made billions of dollars. So one thing we got to teach this community, that just because the market is the market's a roller coaster, and actually that's what you want. You want a roller coaster, because it's an opportunity to make money in both directions. You don't want just going up, because it's a little bit more difficult. Everybody making money when the market's going up. A lot of people are not making money when the market's going down, and there is a way to make money when the market's going down. We just have to teach these strategies to the people in our community.
Absolutely.
Did Miss Jenny, you said you're a housewife?
Yes.
Your husband a go-getter, ain't he?
Oh yeah, he's very.
You know how I know? Pick the drink up again. Is that a Stanley Cup?
Yes, it is.
Yo, anytime you see a woman with a Stanley Cup, you know she got a husband that go get it.
That's hilarious. We were just talking about the Stanley Cup backstage. I said I got the same one, the same color. That is hilarious.
Hey, but Trey hit on something options is definitely, you know what I'm saying, something, but that, like you said, you got to do your research, you have to study, you have to know what you're doing and study and get into it. But yeah, that definitely is another way. What's something else though, where you can earn money, your money can earn money beside the stock market that you all know about?
Whole life insurance.
As an investor, I don't yo talk to me, man. Why do you like whole life insurance as an investment instrument? What do you think? I don't adhere to it, but I'm curious to what you think.
Because whole life insurance, you pay into it.
Mm-hmm.
You pay into it, it gains interest. And you can literally take that money out whenever you feel like it.
Are you talking about like a net 20? Are you talking about like, okay, so I sold life insurance for many, many, many years, right?
Yeah, but
And so
did you sell term or did you sell whole life insurance?
both. But both. But the thing is, with life insurance, right? It depends. It takes a while. It takes a while for your money to mature to the point where you can actually, quote unquote, take it out.
Yeah.
AKA borrow against it.
Yeah.
And it's at a much slower amortization rate. Now, if you get into variable, you know what I'm saying, variable funds and all that, you know what I'm saying, that's stock market based. If you get into that
But
and you
again,
start,
but
that's a universal life policy. It's not really a whole life policy.
But see, with the whole life, you're putting money into it every month, and it is gaining interest, and you can take the money out, and you know how it works as far as paying the money back. Like it pays it back when you
pay your premium,
when you actually use the policy. So like if you put in money into it and you took out, let's say you got a whole life policy for $1 million, and let's say you've been paying into it.
You would, but see, that's the thing. You wouldn't have a whole life policy for $1 million. That would be a term life policy. See, that's the thing. Most of the time, most whole life. Let me tell you, most whole life policies do not exceed $30,000. Most whole life policies.
That's the wrong company then.
Do you know how much a premium would be? See, okay, so let me.
I do, and that's
for a whole life policy.
Yes, that's the point that the point that I'm making that everybody misses when it comes to investment and shit like that. It's just like with credit, right? The only time you're really going to start benefiting from credit is if you have a really good credit rating, so you can get the cards that actually have like the crazy benefits. I mean, you already know about that is.
Right.
It's the same thing with investment. The biggest thing that nobody tells anybody about investments is you got to generate some real money. You got to generate, like if I'm talking about whole life insurance, I'm talking about somebody setting up a premium where they're putting a significant amount of money on that premium every single month.
Yeah, that's like $20,000-$30,000 a month. That's like, you know what I'm saying? It's significant. If you're talking about $1 million, first I want to know, besides the Lords of London, who are offering $1 million life, whole life insurance. But I'm curious. I don't have this knowledge.
I gotta go look it up. There was a guy that I was dealing with where I was gonna set one up, and I never pulled the trigger on it. But I forgot the name of it. I can't remember.
Let me say this. Let me say this as a person who is licensed in insurance for like over a decade. Let me just say this. Generally speaking, whole life policy is a whole life policy, meaning you pay for your whole life, but it is to ensure you know what I'm saying, the basic expenses at the time of demise, which everybody is going to leave here, right? A term life policy generally is a lot higher because the limits are a lot lower. So basically you'll have a 10-year term, a 20-year term, or a 30-year term, right? And most of the time at a certain age, you can't even get a 30-year term anymore. But But the thing of it is so that's where you see, okay, you get a $500,000 policy or $1 million policy or a $250,000 policy. That would be to cover in the case of loss and you have an early demise. It would be to cover your mortgage, your bigger expenses. But generally speaking, as far as life insurance is concerned, most of the time, a whole life policy is just to cover your death expense or your medical bills. It's not generally to cover your major life. You know what I'm saying? And so it's not really thought of as an investment instrument. So that's why I'm trying to understand.
You can get a policy. You can get a whole life policy for more than 30,000.
Oh yeah, I know that, but I've never heard one as high as 100. I've never heard one as high as $1 million. Though, is what I'm saying. A whole life. Now, maybe Lords of London, yes, and much more with Lords of London, but not beside that. Nowhere else have I heard of over $1 million policy in whole life. See what I'm saying? Go ahead.
Go ahead.
The premium, the monthly premium would be astronomical. It wouldn't even make sense. I'm being honest, it wouldn't even make sense. You know what I'm saying? Because you'd be paying so much into it. Let me tell you like this. So let's say you have a $30,000 policy. Let's say you're a man, you're 40 years old, you don't smoke, you don't drink, you're in great health. A $40,000 policy for somebody who's a man who's 40 years old, you're going to be paying like $100 and something a month.
Yeah.
And that's
for whole or
40,000.
term?
That's whole. That's whole.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Now term, it will be a lot less because the chances of you outliving the policy is going to be high. And so if you outlive the policy, there's no death benefit. So you basically paying into it for nothing. You see what I'm saying? Right. So the company made money off of you because you basically what you're doing with the term policy is you're betting on that you're going to die before time. That's really what it is. If you want to be real.
That's not really.
So you're betting against yourself.
No, that's exactly what it is, though, fam.
That's not really what you're doing.
Okay, explain to me why not.
That's a very pessimistic way of looking at it.
No, it's not what term life is not. It's actual facts.
It is. It's just a pessimistic way of looking at it because it's like, okay, you outlived the policy. It's like, cool, you paid what you paid, but there was a chance that you wasn't going to outlive the policy. Right. That's the entire point of it.
Right, but it's not pessimistic if it's okay. So basically, you understand that insurance, like anything else, is basically the house wins, right? Now what they're doing is they're leveraging your mortality, right? They're understanding that everybody has an expiration date. But what they're saying is that there's these stats and these numbers that say that these people generally live to this particular number, right? And so what it is they're going to use the insurable interest and they're going to use the fact that they know that you're going to perish at some point in time. And then they're going to leverage it to make the most amount of money possible and be able to invest your money that you put into it in order for them to make money, with the hopes that you live longer than the policy, especially with a term life policy. Let's just be honest.
So can I just chime in though? Listen, if you get into a term life policy early enough, the premium is so cheap, it's like noise to you.
Yeah.
Right. So if you happen to outlive it, if you just happen to outlive it, you pretty much will look at that money as sunk cost and you won't even think about it. And somewhere midway, and you're still alive, you probably start thinking about getting another policy, if with them or somebody else, because you'll have some optimism that I want to be prepared. Because like if you get a policy in your 20s, by the time you're 30, 35, you might have kids or family and all that kind of stuff. And you say, well, you know what? This shit runs out when I'm 55. You know what? I'm kind of optimistic, whether it happens or not. If I live past 55, I don't want to have my family uncovered. So I'll either extend that policy or I'll get a different one. It's going to cost me a little bit more money, but that's what I'm going to do. And maybe I'll look at a whole or whatever, but I'll probably get another term one that takes me to 65 or some shit like that. So, yeah, so you're kind of right. So I don't think there's a wrong answer there. And you're right. The actuarial people are thinking, hey, you're going to outlive this shit and I'm going to make a little bit of money. But as far as the payer, if you're paying $25, $30, or $40 a month for $1 million policy, even if you outlive it, you're pretty much not going to really feel like you got taken to the cleaners.
Of course, you're not going to feel like you got taken to the cleaners.
I'm not talking about like term life. What I'm talking about is the financial
investment part.
What I'm talking about is the financial strategy of using whole life in order to create your own bank. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I've heard of that in theory. I haven't seen it. I haven't seen it in practice because what happens is it's so strenuous as far as coming up with that monthly premium. When you're obligated to come up with more than $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 a month every month, you know what I'm saying? It gets a little hectic. In addition to whatever other bills you have, it gets a little hectic.
That's not for somebody. It goes back to what I said before.
You got to make more money.
Gotta make more money.
Exactly.
You have to be in a position where you have thousands of dollars of disposable income, because this is when you're really in a position to where you can really invest where it really benefits you.
Yeah, and even then, I think it's still a 2 or 3 year period before you can borrow against your money. But yeah.
It depends on what company you're with. The company, I can't think. I'm gonna find a name for you, but the company that I was dealing with, you didn't have to wait no 2 years.
How long they said you had to wait?
I can't remember the exact time, but it wasn't no 2 years. It wasn't even a year.
Well, I mean, but think about it. If let's just say you're doing 5,000 a year, right? 5,000 a month. 5,000 a month times 12 was $60,000, right? At the end of the year. So in order for you to have a substantial amount of money to even borrow against, like, it's gonna take time to accumulate, even if your premium is $5,000 a month. You need at least 12 months to accumulate $60,000. You see what I'm saying? So
of course,
so generally speaking,
what you're doing, if you're doing it for that purpose, of course you're going to have to accumulate money because you're trying to build your own bank. So of course you're going to have to accumulate the money. The point of it is to put yourself in a position to where, first of all, that money, there's benefits, there's tax benefits to that.
Makes sense. I mean, it makes sense. And you're talking about a different level of affluence and wealth.
That's the end game.
That's the
end game.
When you're taking that money out in order to, like, okay, so you've accumulated money in there for a certain period of time, right? Now you got something you want to do where you want to, instead of you going to the freaking, you want to buy a car, instead of going to the dealership and, financing it through a bank or whatever, you literally have the money at your disposal, and that money has been sitting in that account. You feel what I'm saying? The way it works is there's a certain amount. Once you start putting the money in, there's a certain amount that you can take out, right? So when you take that money out, that money's not being taxed the same way that your money's going to be taxed. That money's not taxed at all. So it's not like when you have another type of investment, a cash vehicle, where it's accumulating interest, and in the moment you take the money out, you created a taxable event, and now you have
like a 401k or early 401k.
So Andrew, man, so if we could change the conversation just a little bit slightly based on that scenario, you have a brokerage account, right? Say you have $50,000 in it, but it's a margin account, and that margin account, you got $50,000 worth of stock, you're doing okay, but they give you can leverage $60,000 worth of margin based on that $50,000 you have investment, right? Or maybe 30,000, whatever it is.
Yeah,
Trey, like, you ain't gonna be able to do more.
It's not gonna be more, but 30,000.
No, they go out of business messing with you Negroes, Trey. They ain't gonna hustle that white man.
If you have a margin account, they'll give you. Well, let me just finish. Let me just finish this. So now I made a mistake on the number. But let's just scenario. If you have a margin account, you'll have some available cash that you could borrow against your shares. Right. So again, if you use that money, I'm not saying even go up to more than 50% of what's available, but it could be less than that, right? So if you need $10,000, you can take that money, right? And you pay yourself back. There's no.
But isn't
That's
there
not
capital gains? Isn't there
no,
capital
no,
gains
no,
tax on
no.
that now?
No,
Or
it's not.
It isn't.
No, it's not. It's a tax-free event. So, and
But they
don't even
do
go on your
charge
credit.
interest.
Yeah, they'll charge you interest. They'll
To
charge you
pay it
like,
back or upon
to pay it back.
taking it
But
out?
to
To borrow
borrow it, they'll charge you, depending on the brokerage, they'll charge you maybe 5 to 10%. Well, 10% interest now.
And see, that's the point. That's the point with whole life insurance.
No interest.
If you're taking that money out of it, it's not being taxed. And you literally don't have to pay it back, because when the policy is paid, the policy will pay it back.
Gotcha.
You see what I'm saying? So when you pass away, it's going to deduct whatever when it's time for that policy to be paid out, it's going to deduct whatever you took out over your lifetime, and whatever's left gets paid out. This is literally how these freaking these dudes back in the day, like the freaking Rothschilds and the Rockefellers, this is literally how they continue to maintain their wealth.
But they had trust too. They had trust too. But
yeah, they had the damn whole life. Look, this is what they did. They took every one of the family members would get a policy like that they paid into. They would put that shit in a trust. You feel what I'm saying? So I can't break it down like right now.
I got you. I know what you're talking about. But it's important. It's important for people to note that that's not a regular. I just want people to understand that is definitely not a regular whole life policy. Like you're not going to be able to go to your average everyday insurance company and ask for that program for whole life.
You have to go to a specific type of company that provides that type of whole life insurance.
Right.
Can I
You
ask
better
this
make
question?
sure you got the money before you walk
do
in the door.
Do they
Go ahead.
charge an interest for you borrowing against your own life insurance?
No.
Like, does the insurance company charge an interest rate? Okay.
No.
But there is a fee. But there is a setup fee though, because I thought it's a setup fee. It is a fee. Of course, they charge you on the front end
for free.
Yeah, they charge you on the front end.
I'll butt in there. So it depends on the policy, and Angry Man is absolutely correct. It depends, but it also depends on the policy, and it also depends on if you're borrowing against the living benefits or if you're borrowing against the death benefits. So death benefits, for the most part, is pretty much kind of like
face amount.
Pretty much, the death benefit is for the most part there for you not if you die, but when you die, for the most part. Okay, it's just there. Okay. And you can pretty much borrow against it. And for the most part, if you borrow against it until it depletes, for the most part, when you die, it's just gone. However, the living benefits, if you get a whole life or a term life or the different types of fill in the blank in life, but the living benefits vary depending on the depth of your policy. Some living benefits, for the most part, will have you pay back the loan or the loan itself, but it's not taxed because you can't tax debt. Right. That's what Angry Man was talking about. And that's how the Rockefellers and the Rothschilds and so on and so forth. That's how they accrue their wealth in a sense.
Kamala's working on it. She working on it.
Yeah.
That's unrealized. Well, hold on. That's unrealized gains. You're correct.
Nope,
in
I'm
that
not talking about
working
unrealized
on it.
gains. I'm talking about debt. She working on it.
Okay. If that's the case, then yes, you're correct. So yeah. So Angry Man's absolutely correct. There's a difference.
And see, that's the part that I couldn't remember. There's what did you say? Not the death benefits, but the living benefits. They show you the schedule. Like the dude broke it down for me. I just
amortized schedule.
Yeah, because it's been forever. He showed me the schedule. It shows you how much money, once you have paid in a certain amount, it shows you what you can take out. You feel what I'm saying? At that time, and it's not taxed. So he's 100% correct.
And the other thing I want
to ask you a question.
Oh,
Takey, let me ask you a question. How you feeling?
I'm just smiling at my husband because he was in the kitchen. So he looked at me and he looked at me and gave me that look. I told him, just hold up for a minute. I'm trying to finish this up real quick.
Yeah. I don't want you to think that you're feeling overwhelmed, because sometimes when we start talking about stuff like this. You know, I look at the ladies and I'm like, man, what are y'all talking about? But my thing, I still want you guys to participate as well too, because think about it, you guys are gonna have to pass stuff like this on to your kids. So that's the main reason I want you guys here to participate in stuff like this, because I don't think there's a lot of representation of ladies when it comes to topics like this and subjects like this. So I want to make sure you guys stay involved. Does that make sense?
I like that, but you know what? I'm gonna share something with you, and I'm not trying to be funny at all. I am not good with money.
That's all right.
My king is, thank God, my king is. I am not good with money. I get a whole allowance. Do you hear me? As old as I am, I get an allowance. This is what you get. Boom. Don't touch nothing else.
Make it enough.
And
Okay.
boss man, let me ask you a question, because I'm trying to remember, because it's like I wanted to understand how it worked, and I actually got linked up with this guy that was breaking it down for me, that actually worked for one of the companies. I can't remember the name of the company, but the dude, he was breaking it down, especially when it comes to, you know, the wealthier people back in the day. He was saying something about how everyone in the family would get that type of insurance and they would pay into it. And then if somebody, they had it all in the family trust. So if somebody passed away or whatever, that money would pay out into the trust, and they just kept passing it down over and over, like for generations. And that's how they were able to, that was part of the reason they was able to accumulate their wealth.
Two types of trust: revocable trust and irrevocable trust.
What's the difference?
Basically meaning that you can't change out, like, so irrevocable trust means once you have your trustees, you can't take out your trustees once they're already in play. So if you fall out with them and you have an irrevocable trust, they gain the benefit regardless. Is what yeah, right. That's basically what happens.
And you can also put properties in these trusts as well. So I just bought, so my wife and I, we just bought this home here. It's a pretty substantial home. It's pretty substantial. And so I want to put it in. We want to put it in a trust to take it away from us and put it in a trust. This way, when we pass, because it is so it's a 6,200 square foot house, okay, and it's in the DMV area, okay, so you can get a pretty good picture.
We can hear the echo. No,
that's brand new sound right there.
Right.
Yeah.
Get all through the house.
And it's on 3 acres. It's on 3 acres of land. So thank you. And one bit of information is that everyone in here, except for one family, all of us are black, except for one family. And we actually apparently bought pieces of George Washington's land here in Northern Virginia area. So there's a graveyard with people's names on it in our yard, which very weird. Anyway, so with that in mind,
wait. Pause for a second. You ain't gonna just skip past that.
This graveyard man is like,
look, boss man think he's slick, bro. So let me ask you this question.
Yeah.
Since those are not technically your family members, do you still not have to pay property tax?
So it's zoned for it's zoned for that. So that property, I don't pay property tax on that property.
Okay.
But I do pay property tax for the rest of it. However, because my veteran status, I only pay property tax for up to 1 acre. So instead of paying $8,000 some odd dollars for property, I only pay $150 a year.
Yeah. So, so everybody that didn't, pay attention to what Donald Trump did, he buried one of his ex-wives on his property.
There you go.
You have to pay property tax because graveyard.
Wow.
Right. The other thing is that when you the owner bury yourself on your property, you also keep the government from being able to perform eminent domain on your land
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah.
Tidbit of information. But what I want to do is I want to be able to keep my land from being able to go into probate.
Mm-hmm.
So that's another little tidbit of information for you. But back to the Trey. So back to the topic at hand there. The other part about someone asked a question about how to avoid the issue of stock market issues. There we go. Another fast way of accruing interest, and this is what Angry Man was talking about as well, is compound interest, people. Index universal life insurance policies, or IULs.
Annuities, talking about annuities and
Not annuities. That's another one, but index universal life insurance policies, or IULs. So how they work, very shortly, is that basically the money you put in there is pretty much tax free. Okay, you're putting your net money in there, not your gross. You're putting your net money in there, and you're only putting a certain amount of money in there. That way, it doesn't ever tax, right? Now you can borrow against it, like a life insurance policy. You can borrow against it if you want, but what happens is it compounds interests, or it interest compounds. And what happens is you can set what index you want against whatever index you want in the stock market, or you can set an aggregate of how you want it to compound. So let's say you want to set it against a particular, let's say the NASDAQ. Let's just say you want to set it against the NASDAQ. And let's say the NASDAQ between this year and next year, let's just say. And let's say it goes on average between this time this year and this time next year, right? And let's say it goes up by, let's say 1 point or 2 points, right? Your compound interest is going to compound according to that index. Now, someone's going to ask, well, what if it goes down? Well, an IUL does not ever see decreases. It only realizes or recognizes increases. So if the stock market decreases, you don't lose anything. It stays exactly where it is. But if it realizes an increase, it will increase on a compound interest level.
But doesn't your premium raise too? And say so wait. So okay, wait. So now I gotta ask you a question. Yeah, because it's something
whatever you compounded.
But Trey, no, hold on real quick. This is the thing, Trey. Like so you gotta understand, right? If you're not taxed on one end, right? And then you're not partaking in any of the loss, there's some way in which your money is escaping. Like that's just the way money works.
No.
Okay, wait. Help me. Okay, so help me understand. So you telling me hold on real quick. You telling me you pay a set premium every month, right?
Correct.
And it's set. Is it set for the lifetime of the policy, or is it a certain term?
The lifetime of the policy. How you avoid taxes, because the money you're putting in is net, not gross. So how you avoid taxes is that you pay your policy premium, your amount that you're paying into it is below the threshold of how much they would hit for taxes.
Yeah. But what if your profit? But if you make this profit, then doesn't that raise it above? Could that not raise it above the level?
What will happen is that premium, because I see what you're saying. Once it raises above a certain amount, you would take that and you would split it into a new policy.
Oh, okay. There
it
is. Okay.
I can
That's the
literally
infinite money glitch right there.
I can literally hear the gears. The moment you said that, I could literally hear the gears in Iz's brain turning. Like just
because I'm gonna get a UI. I'm gonna get a UI.
No, that's why
I'm gonna go. Hey, listen, don't threaten me with no good time. Don't threaten me with getting no money.
Trey, hit me, Trey.
He's over there talking about
show
me the money.
All the time.
So I put the money in. The market falls. I don't have to worry about losing my money.
Right.
But if the market increases or appreciates, I am capped because I picked a certain level for it to compound at.
So the amount that it compounds, the rate that it compounds is based on the premium.
Right,
However,
which is what I chose to pay, right?
No. So the rate that it compounds is based on the premium. Okay. The increment of if it's going to increase or not is based on the stock market. So the amount of money that's in there is going to compound, and then how much is going to compound is based on the stock market.
So is your premium based on the same thing as it would be at any other insurance policy, meaning your health, your age?
You're constantly putting money in there. How much it compounds is based on the market. Does that make sense?
No, I understand. But what is your premium based
off of? What's the premium determined by then?
By right. What's the determinant? Is it your age?
They want to know if the premium is a flat rate. And
is it your age? No. But is it based on your age, your gender, you know what I'm saying, like a regular insurance policy?
So age. So yes. So age is a determining factor, but you can also base it on how much you make, based on and how much you want to deposit in there. But again, you can't put above a certain amount in there based relative on your income amount before you start triggering taxes.
Wait a minute.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
But if it does, they just buy you another policy.
Correct.
They turn into another. I don't know, Trey. I don't know, Trey. I don't know about this. I don't know. It doesn't sound like.
So I have one, and my wife has one. My mother-in-law has one, and she actually is with a company called Five Rings, and they set them up with National Life. Emeritus is one. National Life, Emeritus is another one. I'm looking into one right now with New York Life Insurance, New York Life Group. And well, basically, I mentioned this because I currently have a 401k. It's not appreciating as fast as I would like it to. I'm looking at CDs. I'm looking at other type of things like jumbo MMAs. I'm also looking at investing into the treasury bonds. The problem with treasury bonds is that they don't appreciate fast enough.
Of course
not.
That's
they
because we
don't
keep printing money. Enough. Yeah,
exactly. So to me, it's just the fastest way for me to look at it. And of course, it's tied to a policy of a life insurance policy with living and death benefits. And that I can also, with the same company, also do a term insurance policy, so that way I can do a term insurance for this freaking house, because this behemoth, okay, because it is not this thing is not below $1 million. So I need a policy quickly. All right. So because I just got this thing. So yeah, I need something now. So just 20 or 30 years. So way if something happens to me tomorrow, I'm good.
Taking care of it.
Right? My family's good, but I also have something that's churning in the background, so the way I can use and have access to.
Now,
if that makes sense.
What's the name of Index? What?
It's called an Index Universal Life.
All right, I just
gave me something to research. Or you can just call it an index account. Is what it's called.
I just want to say this because our pain didn't confirm whether or not he voted for Joe Biden, but I think he did.
No. Why would you think I did that? That's the point, man. Listen. Lit will
you're not denying
you guys that I've been against the Democrats for over a year, and all the shit that people are talking about now, I've been saying a year ago, and I got receipts. I have 25 videos on my channel saying divest from the Democrat Party.
Did y'all notice he said that like he was getting ready to say he's been against the Democrats for 20 years?
No, I didn't say that. So wait a minute, I don't know why we're going on this. I even have a mea culpa saying that I'm dog shit stupid, that I've been voting for the Democrats for 40 goddamn years because I'm 66. The first, because just like every other black person, so it took me 40 goddamn years to get a revelation, and this year I got one. And so I'm saying, so don't tell me nothing about Biden. I was the one talking about what he did for the crime bill, how he had Anita Hill in the Senate, how he did all of this shit, man. I said that for a long time. So stop it. You guys just assuming bullshit.
So let me.
I'm the greatest baby fucking boomer you've ever met.
So,
I'm the greatest baby boomer you ever met because my kids are great fucking people, and I took care of all the business I needed to take care of. There's 76 million of us, and this bullshit you guys keep talking. Don't get me started.
You guys is just Angry Man by himself.
No, because he has allies on the baby boomer shit, and I'm gonna shut up on that because I promise I will.
Are you talking about me, RP?
No, not you.
So I want to show you how a president being elected can be completely detrimental to your way of life, to everybody's way of life, right?
Okay.
So
why are we on this today, though?
Because you've been voting for the Democrats for 40 years, brother.
Yeah, and I'm dog shit stupid. I admit that, and I'm not doing it no more. And I got a whole lot of receipts on my channel to say, you know what, mea culpa. I'm sorry for everybody I know in the history of mankind, and it's time for us to change. And I was the one on your channel who came up with my Django Calvinites, like the fucking DL Hoogies and all those kind of guys. who keep trying to get us to keep voting for them. So yeah, I'll take a hit. I was a black guy from the old time.
What kind of stupid are you?
Huh? I'm a super boomer, man. Based on what these guys are saying, I'm the greatest boomer that ever lived.
So look, so when Joe Biden got in office, right, it was the most amazing thing I've ever seen in my life, right? Soon as he started signing those freaking executive orders, right after that, stock market plummeted, the crypto market plummeted.
Yes, it did,
right?
Lord. Yes, it did, Lord.
I lost a ton of money. Not to mention, oh, by the way, I not only hate Joe Biden, I hate Mark Zuckerberg too. He sucks. Because remember he rolled out that big announcement about Meta,
right?
Like Meta this and Meta, and everybody's like, Meta's gonna be the next best thing.
I told you, AM.
So I ran and invested in every company that was involved in Meta.
You're just a little early. Don't worry. You're just a little early.
That was some bullshit. So
You're
then
about 10 years early. Don't worry about it.
Exactly. So then, in addition to that, that's what made me back up on buying a freaking house. Because I saw it coming around the corner with what we're seeing right now, which is ridiculous. And the reason why I'm giving, I got love for R-Pain. I just like giving him a hard time because he's but that's what really annoys me. You feel what I'm saying? Especially with the boomers, not present company excluded. Because y'all had it made when it come to house buying back in the day.
I agree with that. I heard you. That's true.
Yeah. So like people don't realize that. Like I've gotten into so many arguments with people, particularly black people, about presidents, and I'm trying to explain to them like a president can have an effect on every facet of your life if they get in there and start, signing policies and doing dumb shit.
Their policies and
The
politics.
question is, why are you always arguing with somebody about the president, though, sir? That's the true question.
Because see, for me, like I've spent most of my life, most of my young adult life, having to deal with messed up situations because of presidents. So with Bill Clinton, right? That's when I first started working. When Bill Clinton was in office, he did, I forgot what he did. I think it was NAFTA or something that he did. I had a union job and lost that freaking job because of that goofiness, right? So then you got George Bush Sr., you feel me? No, George Bush Jr. You got George Bush Jr. I'm pretty sure you all remember 9/11, right? You got that stupidity, right? So then you get Obama in there, and a lot of people try to act like Obama was so awesome. Like a lot of people were struggling under Obama, and they pretend like they wasn't, right? You got the housing crash right before Obama got in there, and now you got Joe Biden, and the only president that I can say I prospered under was Trump.
Trump.
Yeah.
Like I literally went from being, I literally went from earning a certain amount of money to earning six figures under him, and it continued to freaking grow until Joe Biden got in there, right? So yeah, every time somebody talks crazy about Donald Trump, I'm gonna snap the hell out because I want him to make my pockets great again. And people, black people, don't want niggas to be great, so they keep on wanting to freaking vote for these goofies. This is gonna mess up the economy.
So, Angry Man, can I just say one thing? Let me just say one thing real quick. On Monday, I do a Monday show here, and maybe you should pop on my show 7:00 on Monday coming up, because the title is going to be, has the liberal or the conservative been, who has been more destructive to the black community?
Oh, that's
the total, that's the title, and I'm putting that shit together now. It probably could need some sharp edges, but that's what I'm working on. I got some.
It's gonna be a quick show.
Well, we could talk about it, because I think we have a battle of ideologies coming up for November 5th. And so many people are blind to 4 more years of what's going on now is going to be really, really destructive if we don't get these assholes out of office. So that's what I want to talk about next Monday. And people could add their knowledge and shit to that, make that a greater show. Then maybe I can put it together. But I got some shit for that show.
Well, Dr. Cornell just said right now that he is that Kamala Kemp just trying to pay him off so he can drop out. He just said it right now on IG.
Who you said Cornell was?
Uh-huh.
Well, he's not going to do it though.
No, he's not. But they're trying to pay him to drop out. You know what, the thing that irks my nerve is that you will get up here and say that you black, but when you were in the Senate, you ain't say you were black. And then what else irks my nerve is that she's trying to get not even trying, because the house ninjas are with her. You got all the house ninjas that's trying to round up the field ninjas and have us to vote for her. And we know good and hell well she ain't gonna do nothing. But did y'all see her? Did you see her with Al Sharpton? And Al Sharpton made her promise at the mic that if a bill come in front of her for reparations for African Americans, will she sign it? And she looked at him stone cold in the eye. She looked like she was about to faint. And she said, yes, she'll sign it, because she was in front of a whole bunch of people.
That's just for show.
Yes, it was for show. Nancy Pelosi ain't gonna let nothing hit her desk that got anything with reparations on it. Y'all, we gotta get that out of our mind. That reparations.
Well, take heed. Let me just tell you right now, today, breaking news. That I did a show on reparations right here on Black Man Unfiltered Network. I read both of those policies that went in. Mm-hmm. Right now, the Democrats in California won't even let it go to the floor. At the same time, they passed $150,000 max.
And guess what? Those Democrats that won't let that go through in California,
right?
They're black boomers.
I know, man. I gotta. You know what, man? I know
it's the truth.
I'm not arguing. I know, man. It's a goddamn shame, man. You know what, man? Shit. But
I just see them in the news walk past everybody. They were shouting at them. They ain't pay no attention.
But the point really is, at the same time, the real slap in the face is they're giving up to $150 million to illegal aliens.
Yeah.
And look, they already are. They giving us so much money hand over fist.
But it passed.
They got the black vote are paying. They need more votes.
No, I understand that. But what I'm saying is listen, I tell you what, black women have to take a hit for this shit, right? If she gets in, black women are going to have to get their asses reamed out. Because let me also add the black sycophant men who follow them. Because there's no way we should be following this brown-skinned chick and a Democratic machine into the abyss. I mean, it's all in front of us. So we'll see on Monday.
Here's the thing: you ain't got to worry about that. And the reason why you ain't got to worry about that.
There ain't gonna be no country.
No, I'm saying you ain't got to worry about this whole Kamala thing because, for one, Trump right now he actually has more support from black people than he did when he was up against Hillary.
Of course.
So that doesn't bode well for Kamala at all.
Hey, bro, she's gonna be the next president of the United States of America. God love. It's already written. It's already written. I don't want it. It's already written.
And you know what? We need it to happen.
Yes, sir.
We need it to happen. That way, we'll never have to have this
I'm willing
conversation
to
ever
bet.
again. The next time a woman wants to be president, we say nope. You
I'm willing to take that bet, and I don't want it to happen, but I'm willing to take that bet.
You want to take that bet?
Mm-hmm.
I already betted my husband.
Yep, I'll take that bet. I'm telling you what's gonna happen, fam.
She's not gonna become president.
Shit, it's a done deal.
Did you watch? Hold on. Did you watch what just happened this week?
With what?
With her.
Oh, that doesn't matter.
No. There's a lot that happened that matters. And it ain't just that interview.
What happened? What else happened?
Okay, so first of all, the interview. Let's address the obvious. The interview was 40 minutes long.
You know, I was sick last week, so I was fighting COVID. So
the interview was 40 minutes long. They only used 18 minutes of it, and the 18 minutes was horrible. So you know the rest of it was horrible. So now people are out here screaming they want the rest of the footage, right?
You want the Snyder cut.
They want the Snyder cut. Right? You got that going on, right? Then on top of that, you got a couple other indicators. Even though she had that concert of a Democratic National Convention, she didn't get no type of bump from that convention. Usually Democrats will get a bump from their convention. They'll go up a little bit in the polls. Like Hillary.
You know what else happened this week, Anger Man?
What?
Niggas done got student loan forgiveness to the tune of hundreds of thousands of dollars.
It don't matter. That's my point. What you're watching her do is desperation. But the problem is the people that she needs to be on her side, she's pissed off irreparably. Like she's not going to be able to. The biggest thing that she did this past week, right? She pissed off the Gold Star families, like literally pissed them all off. Yeah. That's a wrap. That right there was the nail in the coffin for her.
How did she do that? What did she do?
So basically, these are the 13 soldiers that lost their life in the Afghanistan pullout, right?
Yeah, may God rest her.
So she and Joe Biden was invited to go to Arlington Cemetery. They didn't go. Biden was on the beach. She was campaigning or whatever. Trump showed up. So she decides to go to Twitter and try to perpetuate this lie that Trump was trying to use it for publicity
stunt,
and claim that a fight broke out or some crazy shit. So when she did that, the post on Twitter got, like, when I was doing it on my show, it was at 72 million views. And none of the comments were positive. All of the comments was like wild stuff, like "we hope you die," and like it was crazy. Like, so you got to think that's 70 something. Matter of fact, I'm gonna tell you how many people have looked at that post now. Hold on, let me update it real quick.
And the show was good, by the way, sir. I love the show.
Appreciate it. It's at 98 million views right now. It's a wrap for her. It's a wrap. It's a wrap. The only way, and I'm not gonna say it, but the only way that she would end up being president is they're gonna have to try to pull another spirit bomb. And I don't think it's gonna work this time. I don't think it's gonna work this time. And the reason why I say that is because there's a bunch of things that's been done. There's a bunch of things that's been done, so we gonna see how it play out. But
that's the point, bro. Listen, that's the point, bro. We already know. Listen, when these people play for keeps, they don't play for nothing. They already circumvented the whole democratic process with the Democratic National Convention, right? They already put her in place. They, for whatever reason, they got her there, right? It went from she had no approval rating to now she's the best thing since the Mona Lisa and sliced bread. And Eve, everybody's behind her. Now, what I'm gonna tell you is what's gonna happen. I'm telling you, the Obamas, being that they're behind her with they good talking selves, watch. Her speeches are about to get epic level boost.
No,
her presence.
Okay,
Yes, well, she gonna have them ghost riders in the air. Wait, hold on, real quick. She about to have Obama Serrano in her ear. Watch.
Bro. Listen to me. Listen to me. This is part you're not getting about this. She is inept. I wouldn't care if God wrote her speech.
Oh shoot.
She's gonna deliver it goofy. Okay. So number one, and I told you my theory of them having her as the fall guy for the Democrats. I told you that theory, right?
Yeah, you did.
So here's the thing, right? The problem is any type of boost that she got because she's identifying as a black woman and she's not the Walking Dead like Joe Biden is over. And you still haven't got to the debate. It's done. And then on top, that was the other thing that happened. She got into an argument with ABC about the rules of the debate. And they pretty much told her, nah, these are the rules. This is what it's going to be. And I'm telling you right now, I'm watching everybody shift. CNN, not CNN, but CNN.
It was CNN.
They've been asking her questions. And I'm sitting back looking at like, wait a minute, y'all acting like y'all ain't on her side no more. The New York Times came out with an article talking about her in a negative way. Another media outlet, they're starting to turn on her. So I'm sitting back looking at it like, I don't think it's going to play out the way most people think it's going to play out, because the only people that she really has for support really
is the boule,
is the older black women that are going to vote Democrat anyway, right?
Feminist.
The younger liberal black men that have been emasculated.
Yep.
Because there's a whole slew of young black women that's like, nah, we're not voting for her. And then you got to also think about the fact, like right now the polling is showing that Trump is like up by like 10 points now, right? Mm-hmm. The problem with that is Trump's polling is never accurate. He always is going to be 5 points higher than whatever he's polling in, because you got the people that ain't going to tell you they voting for Trump that's going to vote for him. You got the people that's going to tell you straight to their face that they're going to vote Democrat and they're going to go behind that curtain and vote for Trump, right? And you got the people that don't say nothing and they don't even involve themselves in the polling surveys or whatever. They're somewhere chilling, but trust and believe when it comes time to vote, they're going to climb a mountain to go vote for Donald Trump.
This is going to be interesting.
I'm telling you.
It's going to be interesting. I don't want her to win. Listen, because if she win, I believe that we're doomed. I believe that it's over. Okay, so I don't want her to win, but I think
so. One of the things about the news networks as well is it's a self-preservation thing. How they went all in for her and lost all of their ethics, whatever ethics they had left. They were willing to risk it on her. That's why they made her into a champion overnight. And even the news media is still,
and that's why some of them are starting to pull back.
Yeah,
that right there is an indication of something. If you see them starting to pull back, because like I said, when Biden first dropped out and they decided to put Kamala up there, right? There were strategists that were talking about, well, in 2028, we'll be able to put this person up there. Soon as I heard them say that, I was like, oh, okay, I see what they're doing. They trying to use her as they don't want to put their best candidate against Trump because they don't believe that they're going to be able to beat Trump. That's what that is. And here's the crazy thing about Kamala, right? It doesn't really matter what you do. It doesn't matter how much you jazz it up. She's not likable.
She's not.
She's not likable, and she sucks at.
And that laugh.
Yeah, like
it's terrible.
Like yeah, and like I said,
let her laugh.
She had her Michael Dukakis moment when she put that dumbass tweet out, and I guarantee you, like that right there was her doom right there. When I saw the numbers,
kept quiet.
Talking about she put garlic in the greens.
No, but why
she black though. But she black though.
Hey,
even Embrace don't put no damn garlic in no greens.
Garlic in my greens.
Tell her sis.
I'm Italian and I don't put garlic in my greens.
Oh my god.
Jersey girl.
No, it was the bathtub that got her. It was the
I told you what the ultimate test is as far as that whole ethnicity thing. We need to hear her say nigga. One time.
Oh no.
Just one time. She needs to say it.
It's over.
She needs to say
She gonna
it.
fuck that up. She gonna mess that up too.
Now I don't know about the chilies and stuff like that. I mean, that's the Indian side of things. But yeah, you gotta put garlic in the greens, man.
That
Come
is
on,
hilarious.
All right, now
you know what? I think a lot of people are waking up to a lot of the BS that the Democratic Party is doing. And I found a video from one of my favorite presidents that I'd like to share with you guys. And if you don't mind, I'd like to bring him up so y'all can see exactly what I'm talking about. Where is he?
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, that's like a cackle. That's a cackle.
That's a cackle.
That's a cackle.
Did you hear the story about the kid who was outside the Democratic fundraiser selling kittens? When the people came out from the fundraiser, he was holding up the kittens and he was saying, "Buy a Democrat kitten." Well, a couple of weeks later, the Republicans held a fundraiser in the same place. And when they came out, there was the same kid with the kittens. And he said, "Buy a Republican kitten." And one of the members of the press who'd seen him there 2 weeks before said, "Wait a minute, kid. You were selling these kittens the last time as Democrat kittens. How come the Republican kittens now?" Kid says, "Because now they got their eyes open."
Our pain,
That
don't
was
feel
good.
bad. Don't feel bad, bro. There's a lot of people coming in there, man.
And
Their
by
eyes are trying to open up.
the way, RP, you might remember.
I thought the Academy Award missed a big opportunity to roll out a life-size Oscar for what he did for the 8 years he was president. For the best performance ever. You know, let's be giving you this Oscar. I thought they really blew it because that would have been a real funny joke. You know, it's not, I mean, he wasn't, you know, but go ahead.
Well, look, here's the
He
thing.
wasn't a good president, though.
Here's the thing, right? They said that most of the time the Democratic the debates between the presidential candidates doesn't really matter. They said the only time it has ever mattered in the history of the United States is Reagan versus Carter and Biden versus Trump, which I find to be interesting because there's a lot of parallel between Joe Biden and Jimmy Carter. And then there's a lot of parallel between Trump and Reagan. Trump isn't as well spoken as Reagan, but he has the same type of arrogance. You feel what I'm saying?
True.
So like we're gonna see if like I said, I think Kamala is gonna pull out of the debate at the last minute. I think she's gonna try to avoid it. That's what I think.
It's next Tuesday, guys. Are we gonna watch it live on live?
Oh yeah, I'm watching it live.
I will. It's gonna be like a pay-per-view fight. You kidding me?
Interesting.
So I want to throw a wrench. I want to throw a wrench in here really quick. So Trump's mentioned that he had a right to interfere with the election. What are your thoughts, Anchorman?
When did he say that?
When?
Yeah. So he had an interview where he said that he was indicted, and he was indicted because he interfered with the election, and he said that he had a right to do so. What are your thoughts?
Well, here that's another Trumpism.
Right.
That's him not picking his words better. Because I guarantee you what he meant was it was some funny business going on. And as the presidential candidate, as the incumbent presidential candidate, he had a right to look into it.
You had the right to challenge it. Yeah.
Okay. Now,
he was disputing it.
Now, currently, he is currently under. He has a case, a federal case right now.
Yeah.
With, hang on, what's his name?
Smith.
Jack Smith. There we go.
Yes.
And the problem is, normally when someone, let me get this right, hang on. Normally when someone says something that is pertinent to a case, normally it's hearsay when someone says that, right? The problem is that he said it, which is directly admissible, and it can be used as admission.
They can try.
To the very case that then Jack Smith has now filed I'm going to botch this, but a subsequent indictment.
Yeah, right. but here's where
for this very thing.
But here's where the problem comes in, right? And I discussed this before. You had the New York case, right?
Yes.
The New York case, the sentencing for the New York case
that's the one
has been delayed, right?
Oh, they delayed it?
Yeah, they're
gonna
delay
it.
They're gonna delay it past
they delayed the sentencing, yes.
Yeah. And the reason why is because of the Supreme Court case
decision
of the immunity, right?
Correct.
Here's the funny thing, and I said this to everybody. They're not supposed to be prosecuting him in the first place. He's a former president. They're not supposed to be prosecuting him. The ones that are prosecuting him at the state level, they're not supposed to be doing that. And so when the Supreme Court comes down with that decision, I'm not surprised because he's a freaking president, right? So when you look at what's going on right now, he was the president, and now he's currently the presidential candidate, right? So right now, anybody that is prosecuting him, indicting him, or trying to bring charges against him, he can literally go to his lawyers, and his lawyers can try to bring a federal case against the people that are going against him, saying that what they're doing is unconstitutional. And the reason why is because if they were to find him guilty, like they did in what was it, Georgia?
Right.
They're doing what is
in New York.
New York.
Was it New York?
Guilty.
New York.
They haven't found him guilty.
Okay.
Yeah, New York.
Okay. It was they didn't have the case in Georgia. My bad. Okay. So them finding him guilty, his lawyers can actually file a case and say that he's that they're causing irreparable harm, right? Which basically means that by them prosecuting him, it's unconstitutional. Even if he's found guilty and he files an appeal years later, it has still caused irreparable harm to the presidency, because the presidency is not a person. The presidency is an office. You feel what I'm saying? The presidency is a symbol. So by them prosecuting him, what they're basically doing, or could possibly do, is interfere with the election. Because the argument that they could raise is that if he loses the election, right, he can bring the argument that the only reason he lost the election was because of all of these Democrats prosecuting him, and it changed public opinion. You feel what I'm saying? Trust and believe. He has legal precedence to go after them, because you got to keep in mind, they've never done this to a president before. This has never happened in the history, as far as I know. They've never done this to a president.
They never done. No.
Okay, so I'm gonna play devil's advocate for a second.
Uh-huh.
Could it be? Is it possible that they've never done this to a president before? Possibly because a president has never done these type of things before.
Well, there's presidents who've done way worse.
Wait.
There's been presidents who've done way worse.
Everything.
And what I mean by that is, I'm not talking about. Let me quantify. All right, because presidents have done some shady shit. Okay. All right. Let's do this. Let me quantify. All right. I'm not talking about the money bullshit. Okay. I'm not talking about the buying pussy bullshit.
Okay.
All right. I'm talking about the federal bullshit. Okay. When we're talking about classified documentation, okay.
Oh, don't.
And when I'm not talking about documentation in a sense that we have, a couple documents here, a couple documents there, or documents that you find and then you return back. We're talking stacks of documents. Now let's quantify a bit more. Not only stacks of documents, but we're talking top secret documentation.
You got
if I was found with this.
Let me pause you for a second. Okay, so first of all, there's legal precedence for this.
Right.
Sure.
Bill Clinton did the same thing.
Sure. Yes.
Now, when Bill Clinton did this is where the legal precedence came about, where they said, as president, he has the ability to declassify any classified documents, which means anything that he takes, he can keep. Not to mention the fact, Joe Biden had countless documents spread across numerous homes.
Yes, right.
They said that first thing they said was they don't think he did it on purpose, which was ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
Then they also said that he was not fit to stand trial.
Yeah, he forgot that he had the document.
But he's still fit to be president. See, here's the problem with this, right? Here's the problem. The problem with this is, and I get what you're saying, they've never done this to a president because a president has never done this before. That right there, that right there is shit. That right there.
There's more, but hold on. Go ahead.
That right there is shaky. And the reason why it's shaky is because in the United States of America, prosecutors can indict a ham sandwich. You can indict somebody for whatever. If you look long enough, you can find something to try to charge someone with. The problem with this whole situation is that they've made new rules for Donald Trump, and he's not enjoying the immunity that every other president before him has enjoyed.
And so, Angry Man, let me just say this. The point is that the Democrats have broken the seal that was a gentleman agreement between all presidents for the beginning of the time. The point is, Wolfman, you can go on, but what I'm saying is, it's an unwritten rule between all of them that you don't do this shit, man.
The only time this is what they did. They've taken the justice system and they weaponize it against their political opponent, right? So and they're setting a horrible precedence, by the way.
No doubt.
So here's the thing when it comes to presidents, right? And nobody wants to understand this, even though we all know it in the back of our mind. Presidents are above the law. The only time you see a president prosecuted is on a movie. That's the only time you're gonna see a president held accountable for anything that he really does is on a damn movie. Okay, you're not gonna see presidents be held accountable for anything that they're doing. The only time you see that is when you have a Donald Trump who is going against the grain, and they want to get him out of there because he's throwing a monkey wrench in whatever plans they got.
Miss Jenny, you want to chime in?
Sure. Yeah, I mean, I guess to go back a little bit to when we were talking about Kamala, the only way I foresee her getting elected is the same way that Biden got elected, which is by cheating. So everything fair and square.
Yep, that's what's gonna happen.
Yeah, and so I mean, at the end of the day, you know, people keep talking about, oh, we have to make sure we get out and vote, and let's not get too comfortable with the polls. But it's like it really doesn't matter because, as far as I'm concerned, Trump won the last time, and so unless we have gotten to the bottom of the issue, which is, you know, the electronic voting machines and, you know, people playing with the votes, then it doesn't matter if everybody literally voted for Trump.
Well, a lot of states have implemented a lot of different things. Not all of them, but a lot of the key battleground states, they've implemented things like, for instance, with the mail-in ballots. They now have this process where the ballot has to be put inside of a sealed envelope, and then that envelope is put into an envelope. So if they get the ballot and that inner envelope is not sealed, it doesn't count. Like,
yeah, Virginia's like that.
You got that.
Wait a minute. When they start? No, New Jersey been doing that. Jersey been doing that.
Some of them wasn't doing it.
Some of them weren't doing it.
Some weren't doing
Oh,
it. That's the problem.
God.
Some weren't doing it. So they have that. Then they have some other things going on in Arizona with the voting machines. Like the one that I see that's problematic is
Georgia.
Michigan. Michigan. No, they did a lot of stuff in Georgia to they changed a lot of stuff in Georgia. So I don't know, but the one that's problematic, as far as what I've been keeping track of, the one that's still problematic is Michigan.
That's a key state too. Key battleground state.
Yeah.
Grace, you want to
and the
throw
governor
something
is
in
not trustworthy. And the governor's not trustworthy.
But it doesn't really matter if she doesn't win. If she doesn't win Pennsylvania, it's a wrap anyway.
I think she's gonna win Pennsylvania.
I am hoping and praying that Trump wins because I don't mind having a woman president, but not right now.
No,
this country is too volatile for no female to come in here and clean up. The mess is too big. It's too big. And I hope that all these rednecks from these woodworks in Georgia, all these people in hospice get up and vote the KKK. I'll be right next to a Klansman voting with him. And I hope they all come out and vote because we cannot afford to have Camilla in office. And I'll admit to y'all, this is the first time that I'm voting Republican because I made the mistake of voting with feelings versus facts with Obama, and I'm not doing that again.
Well,
I don't care how much hate y'all throw on me. I have always voted Democrat, but I won't be doing that shit this year.
Well,
I know that's right.
This year, but I have always voted Democrat, so I don't give a fuck what none of y'all say to me. Shit. I don't give two shits what none of y'all say to me. Okay, I already been throwing fire from my channel on her ass. So I'm sorry. I don't want to see a president. I don't care what you said. I don't care how much credentials she got and shit. I don't want to see her ass up there. And need to be Incredible Hulk up in that bitch. I'm sorry. That's it. I'm done.
Well, here's the
Grace,
other
before
thing.
you go, Curry, I'm gonna let you in on a secret. It wasn't the Republicans who had the KKK; it was the Democrats. So be careful what you say.
And that's
Well,
you're right.
Here's the other thing that people aren't weighing into it. It's kind of like a double-edged sword, right? The pandemic got rid of a lot of Democrat voters. Nobody thinks about that. Like you have, when you look at the pendulum swaying because of the black vote, you lost a lot of Democratic black voters. Those older voters that's only gonna vote Democrat, they don't care about nothing else. You lost them during the pandemic.
Man,
I don't know about that. I have to challenge that a little bit because what really people, me working in the healthcare out here in Jersey, the people who really passed away was because of those ventilators. So either you was a Republican or a Democrat. See, people don't want to tell that. They really passed away because of those ventilators.
Well, yeah, but see the problem.
Because right now, when you get COVID right now, you know what happens? They just put you in a room Okay, just a room with some still air, and you sit there for 7 days, and then after the 7 days, you go home.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter if it's black or white.
That's what I'm saying. It doesn't matter. But I'm saying that either you be Dem or you be Republican. It doesn't. What really took people out was those ventilators.
But what I'm saying is, there's more white people than black people. The Republicans can afford to lose white people. The Democrats can't afford to lose black voters.
But isn't there a lot more older white Republicans than there are older black Democrats?
Yes.
Okay. Yes. So I would say that they probably lost a lot of.
They lost a lot too on that side.
A lot too.
But the problem, y'all not getting how many white people.
Well, no. I want you to explain. I want you to clarify.
Okay,
I'm sorry.
So if you lose a large number of older white Republicans, and you also lose a large number of older black Democrats, right? True enough, they lost the white Republicans, but that loss is not going to be as bad as the
they can afford it.
Democrats. They can.
You're saying that they can afford it.
The reason they can afford it is because you're having black men vote Republican at a higher rate now. So they're losing black older Democrat voters, but they're gaining new black Republican voters. See what I'm saying? While they're still retaining the white Republican voters that are still here. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it matters most in the swing states as well.
Yeah.
And those swing states have larger black populations.
Oh, and then on top of that, he just gained the majority of RFK's voters.
Absolutely.
Speaking of that, do you think, Angry Man, that he's actually? This is my thought. I think he's actually going to end up replacing JD Vance with RFK.
He should.
No, he shouldn't. He shouldn't.
That is my bet. I think he's going to do it. I think he's going to do it. I think
he's going to put RFK to something else that's going to be beneficial. Now, here's the thing. I'm going to let you in a little secret too. I don't know if you paid attention to this or not, but there's a chart showing the difference in how men and women vote, and there's a divide between men voting more conservative and women voting more liberal. And that whole gender war that you're looking at is actually being played out in this election. And you're going to start to see a lot more men gravitating toward the conservative side of the aisle versus women on the liberal side. And we talk about this stuff all the time and the reasons why in the spaces. So what's going to happen is, if the women want to, be underneath a strong straight guy for the most part, they're going to have to go over here to the Republican side. Now, if you into what Roland Martin got going on,
don't mention Roland now. First of all, that was the
Democratic side. You know what I'm saying? Some of that sexual.
There ain't no goddamn hat.
I had to throw that one in there, man. That was easy.
But lost. Just by that logic,
that man loves chocolate man bun.
Listen, y'all better stop hating on.
It was a hack of his private a bleak stash. His bleak stash.
No, there's nothing wrong with a fine black man. Okay,
exactly. Roland Martin appreciates a fine black man like any sister.
Okay, he said it was a hack. Everybody on my channel told me Takey is a hack.
It was a hack.
He hacked himself. Yeah, he hacked into his account with the man buns.
Oh, what is this? What is all this man buns going down a rainbow tunnel? You know what I'm saying? What is all this going on? That was hilarious. Jenny, did you get to see Roland Martin flip out when he exposed himself? Allegedly.
No, I didn't hear about that.
Oh my God!
Oh my God!
Take heed. Tell him what happened. Take heed.
It was
because you did a show this morning.
Listen, you know what? I'm gonna share something with you. I feel bad for Roland. I'm sorry.
Stop.
I do because he was trying to promote Kamala Harris, and in the midst of him trying to promote, his Woman King, in the midst of him trying to promote Woman King, some chocolate buns got up on the screen, booty butt naked, and walked through this beautiful park. Okay, So they knew that, you know, Roland forgot to close one of those windows. Okay.
That's because
Stop
God
hating
don't
on
like
Roland.
ugly.
Stop
God
hating
don't like
on him.
ugly.
Okay. Now you know he wearing those dashiki outfits and shit. Y'all better leave him alone.
You should have seen when that video switched to that other video. The camera went back to his face. He was trying to
shit.
He was like, we ain't doing this. And I said, I agree with you, Roland. We are not doing this, brother.
I disagree with you. I disagree with you, sir. Okay, leave Roland alone. He said it was a hack now.
Where
Y'all
is
better
that
leave him alone.
at, Lit Pete?
Okay,
It's the sweet.
So check this out. Somebody went and made a montage of every time Roland Martin made a suspect face or said something suspect. If you can find that montage on the internet, I suggest you look at it.
Oh, that rolling the neck when he do that roll the neck thing.
That boy is sweet as
Listen, leave him alone now. He married. Roland is married, y'all. Be nice.
We just teasing him, man. You know that. We just teasing Roland.
He said it was a hack.
Yeah.
All followers told me, take heed, it was a hack. Please leave this man alone.
Yeah, he's married.
Even though I still think
he's married this is his second marriage, yet he has no kids.
Oh, that's nasty.
That's interesting.
Down lemon lime and nasty, you know what I'm saying?
but then again, it's hard to have kids when you don't like women buns.
Hey, listen, man, it's no
coming
back.
Is not right. He ain't right.
It's no coming back from that, man. You know, but you know what? But again, it's just indicative that the liberals on the Democratic side, they don't put no masculine men up. They got a whole cadre of guys who are effeminate, man. From Cory Booker to Vance Jones to Don Lemon to all these guys, man, they all have a little hint of mint in them, you know, and some are all the way gone and shit.
I found a video of that dude, the other one that's on CNN. I can't think of his name. The dude, he got a beard, he got a bald head. What's that black dude's name?
I don't know.
Found a video of him crying on camera.
Yeah,
man.
Not Van Jones, the other one.
He always crying.
Like
I got a video of a show where at the convention they had a whole bunch of white women trying to redefine what a masculine man is. They put up Walsh and Cory Booker, and this is how the new masculine man, guys weeping and shit. They said, "Oh, look at Walsh's son. He was so filled with emotion at the thing. He's crying like some kind of goddamn banshee and shit." I'm saying, wait a minute.
Van Jones, that day that Biden got elected, right? He need his ass whooped for the way he was up there crying. I thought I was looking at Steven from Django.
He was
blubbering and shit. I can tell my kids that America's safe now. And
okay, guys. I mean, come on. You know, oh my God.
You gotta do what you gotta do, man. When they put that money in your pocket, you know you got to dance. You got to dance. You already know it. That's exactly what happened. When you take that money, you got to do what you got to do.
So you saying when he saw everybody on the internet criticizing him, he was sitting at home like Dave Chappelle on that skit with Oprah where he had the money and he was just sitting there.
If y'all ever see me
with $100 bills.
If y'all ever see me promote Kamala, y'all know I got paid. Okay, let you know right now. They done sent me an email. I'm gonna be up there. Take heed to the message. Supports Kamala Harris. What's her name again? Kamala Harris. Yes.
Be like, hey, what is it gonna take for me to turn one of these Trump votes into one of these Kamala Harris votes? You know what I'm saying?
If you ever see me promote Kamala, you better go outside and make sure the sun is out because you are in the upside down. You in another dimension. Way in hell.
I'm gonna get that check now, and I'm gonna go in there and act like I don't know who she is when I gotta vote. Because my husband said, "Get that check, girl. Get that check."
You gonna run off on the plug.
No,
Y'all
I'm
wild,
serious
man.
though. I feel bad for Roland Martin. I'm sorry, y'all. I really do. I really do. I do.
You know, let's talk about this. Mark Cuban did a survey, right? I don't know if you guys saw that survey he did. He asked the question, you know, would the persona and character of Kamala Harris or Donald Trump be beneficial, or would you prefer your kids to look up to one of those guys? And Trump, I mean, he just ran all over Kamala Harris, like 75% to 25%, or 60 something to 30 something. And the key is that it was 850,000, 800 and something thousand votes. So the damn polls that the news people are doing maybe have 1,000 votes, or 500 to 1,000 votes. So 800,000 people, and Cuban is no fan of Trump. So he just randomly asked his people, and they're all for Trump.
Well, I will tell you this, Arpain. Welcome to propaganda, bro.
That's right.
And that's if nobody knows how to do propaganda better than anybody, it's America. You know what I'm saying?
No
We got
doubt
the
about it.
best. We got the best propaganda machine in the business. You know,
Absolutely.
Think about it. This woman lost to Joe Biden handily the first time, and you mean to tell me overnight everybody's all in love with her? All of a sudden, all of a sudden, Joe Biden was losing to Donald Trump, and overnight now she's the presumptive leader. She's leading Trump now. You got to find out where you get your stuff from, and I tell everybody, man, each one of these news sites lean a certain particular way. It's very rare that you'll get someone that calls it down the middle. If you do, stick with them because they're going to tell you the truth. You start dealing with some of these other people that leans to the left or leans to the right, they're not exactly going to tell you that because they got a constituency. They got to sell commercials too. That's just the nature of the business, y'all. You know what I'm saying? So pay attention to what's being advertised to you, as always. You know, I'm pretty sure some of y'all got a commercial while we've been watching. As a matter of fact, while I'm here, hit the like button, subscribe, run it through the Cash App. You know what I'm saying? Hit the super chat if you're enjoying the show. But like I said earlier, it's all about the money, man. We talked about that earlier yesterday on Humble Dad Show. It's all about the money. You know, follow the money, find out who's doing what, you know, and that'll lead you to what we was talking about earlier about investing. You know, all that plays into it. Whatever you use a lot, just get some stock in that, you know, and that'll help you out because every time you buy something, you put a little bit of money back in your pocket. I remember a millionaire told me a long time ago, he said, I'll never do business with somebody I can't get a piece of that dollar from back, you know, for doing business with them. And that's real talk. So if you can't get money back from somebody you're doing business with, you probably shouldn't be doing business with them anyway. We're going to wrap the show up. Arpain, did you want to add anything? Final thought?
I just got one more thing we didn't bring up. That Kamala Harris and her regime want to tax unrealized gains.
Yeah, man, I saw that.
And nobody's talking. I mean, that's huge.
That went over a lot of people's heads.
That's just going because a lot of people. Go ahead.
Go ahead. I want you to go explain to everybody what that is.
Well, the point I'm trying to say is the reason why it's going over so many people's heads is because it's indicative that not enough people invest money. Right. So if I have $2,000 and I make it, and I realize 100% gain, now it's $4,000. They're saying whether I sell or not, they want to tax that $2,000 worth of profits. So that's going to force people to either sell some of that and become just the thought of that is so regressive, is so damaging to the economy. And I can't imagine anybody who's winning in those $500 million boxes or whatever at the convention. That shit had to go over like a lead balloon. Because what they're saying is, go ahead, boss man. Go ahead and say what you're gonna say.
Sorry, I thought there was a break there. I didn't mean to cut you
No,
off.
go ahead. But I said what I had to say. Go ahead.
I'm going to throw a challenge there, and maybe that some people didn't take it as a situation of it damaging them, but also maybe it was a situation of targeting people who are finding ways to avoid taxes. So particularly the rich in a sense. So in a propaganda, back to what Lip was talking about, in a situation where the rich are, idealistically, the rich are avoiding taxes. So if they are finding ways to avoid taxes or finding ways to put money in certain places, whatever the case may be, where you can't necessarily tax, let's say, a portfolio that appreciates, for instance.
Well,
and
okay,
money is
so
just
to me,
sitting
is
there.
that tax avoidance? Listen, I would understand if I was hiding something in a shell corporation, or if I was hiding something offshore, or some kind of trust. The fact that I didn't sell an entity that appreciated is not tax avoidance. That's not hiding.
Arpain,
So
think
here's a
about what
thought.
she just said. She said she's going to tax unrealized gains.
Unrealized gains.
You know what that sounds like? That sounds like she's going to tax you on money you never made.
That's right.
So
this ain't got nothing to do with what you
Yeah.
made. This got about to do what money you did make. My thing is, how can they predict what you didn't make?
So
there's no way you can predict that.
So let's think of it like this. My thought, and I don't really understand it entirely, so I'm just spitballing here. So let me think of it. I don't understand it. Okay, I'll just be honest with you. Okay, I'm spitballing in a sense and thinking of it like this. If you are filing on your taxes, for instance, and you are showing an appreciation of something, right? Or let's say you have a portfolio that has gained or is scheduling, because the tax code has an amortized or schedule of appreciation of a particular asset or a particular property. Okay. It has a tax code that says this particular property type or this particular asset type is going to appreciate based on this code, based on this time frame. Or put it like this: how about stock options, for instance? Now, this I can understand. Elon Musk, for instance, bought what was it? What was it? Twitter? Yes.
Yeah,
on
Twitter.
Stock options.
Okay.
So he didn't buy it directly with stock options, but what he did was he went to the bank, and he went to the bank and he borrowed money, used stock options as collateral, to get that money, and then use that debt to buy what was it? To buy
Twitter.
X.
Yeah.
Twitter. So now what did he do? That money that he gained from that was completely tax-free, but he used it.
But boss man, you're going through all kinds of machinations to try to show where she's coming from. She's talking also about the regular. Wait a minute. No, I'm not. Listen, you're going through the obviously the easiest real-time gain to understand is if I buy a stock for $100 and it goes to $200. There's nothing nefarious about that. She wants to tax the $100 that I made. I didn't even make it. I didn't sell a stock. So if I have 100 shares of a stock, it doubles. She wants to tax me even before I sell it. That's the unrun. So we can go through all the machinations that the rich people do, but everybody who gets realized gain or unrealized gains is not rich.
You're actually currently taxed on
I'm not. If I buy a stock and it doubles, if I don't sell it, I don't get taxed until I sell it.
You have to report.
No, you only report what you sell. On that Schedule B, right? If I have a stock, I only report the things that I sell.
Okay, my CPA asks me every year that I invest in anything.
Yeah, and that's right. Then he asks you, did you sell it? So you could make a ledger of what you own. You could make a ledger of what you own, but the only thing that needs to be reported is what you sell.
That too.
Did you make a gain or did you make a loss? And that realizes the sell. So if you make a gain and you sell it, you realize the gain.
You're pushing the liability out from year to year.
But now learn me something, because now I'm learning here. What's the point of reporting the gain if there's nothing to be taxed on it? What's the point of
No.
reporting the
What
gain?
I'm saying is, if I have 10 stocks,
Yeah.
and when I put my schedule, I think Schedule B in, I
Yeah.
only put the stocks. When I buy a stock, right? If I don't sell it in the year that I'm taxed, I don't report that I own it. I only report it if I sold that stock in that year. So if I made a profit, then the profit is taxable. If I had a loss, then the loss I could write off up to $3,000 every year. Right? That's still the same. So the truth of the matter is something as simple as, so if I don't sell it at all, and if I made $100,000 on a stock portfolio, if it appreciated $100,000 and I didn't sell anything, I don't get taxed until I take a profit. That's the difference between realized and unrealized gains.
Got it.
So she wants to hit you whether you sell or not. That will be devastating to the investor market. I don't care what level you're at. Right? So, I'm telling you,
in other words, Big Sugar coming for her money.
Listen, if you had a house, even if you're, and I don't know how deep this is going, but if your house appreciates from $1 million to $2 million, and she comes to boss man and say, shit, you know what? We appraised your house at $2 million, even though you bought it for $1,000. And I want you to pay me taxes on the equity. That shit would devastate you if you're not selling your house. You got to come up with that money. So you either got to take some kind of loan to pay your taxes on the fact that your house appreciated. You don't have to do that unless you're selling your crib.
Well,
if you take out a loan, the clock is ticking. Think about it.
Yeah, but the fact that you have to do that is crazy.
Think about it. If you take out a loan to pay your taxes, the clock is now ticking.
That's right.
It wasn't a clock ticking before.
So I don't know if I got through to you. I'm saying
it makes sense.
The difference between realized and unrealized makes all the difference in the world. And so up to now, you don't have to pay taxes on unrealized gains. You just don't.
But if you can claim it as a loss, if you were
only if you sell it.
Think IUL.
Thank you. Okay, because dots weren't connecting. There.
There you go. Thank you.
It connected now. Thanks.
So I mean, it's a devastating thing, man. I'm telling you, man. There's so many reasons why. And see, the fact is, the least reason why we shouldn't vote for her is because she's a woman and got brown skin. Forget that. Her policies are just devastating. I mean, it would be devastating. Just look at California, and you'll know everything you need to know why she shouldn't be president, because she's going to spread all of that horse shit across the whole country. The whole country. So
it's the California thinking, man.
Anyway, that's my 100-hour last word. Yeah, Jenny, you up there glowing. You up there glowing, man. You know what you are. I feel all the beams coming out of here. You know what I'm saying?
Jenny, did you have any final thoughts before we let you go?
Well, I didn't have a lot to contribute this evening because I was definitely out of my wheelhouse, but I definitely gleaned a lot of information. So I hope the chat was listening as much as I was trying to, because there was a lot of good information that was being spread. But I guess I would just say from my perspective, my limited, financial knowledge and whatnot, that at the end of the day, you as a Christian, because that's, my angle from coming at things, is that we should want to be good stewards of all that we have. And that our finances are our responsibility. I've been watching a lot of videos lately about weight loss, even though I'm not really in a season of my life where I'm trying to lose weight. I just find them interesting. And, there's a lot of reasons why people say that they can't lose weight. But at the end of the day, it just comes down to a calorie deficit. If you're not, eating less than you are if you're not losing more than you're taking in, you're gonna gain weight. And that's just the fact of the matter. Thyroid and whatever diet is irrelevant. And so people want to blame all these other outside sources for the reason they can't lose weight, when in reality it's just because they're lazy. And so
absolutely.
it's going to lie to you. Your employer is going to lie to you. These hack job TikTok financial gurus are going to lie to you. At the end of the day, it's your responsibility to be financially stable and wise. And so you can only pawn it off to other people for so long before it just ends up in your lap.
Hey, you know, I got one for you though, Jenny, real quick. I guess it's a parable of the talents. The talents, whether what you do with those, whether you bury them or you multiply them.
That's
and
right.
which one is the more a favor for God's eyes is the ones that are invested, right? He actually punished the person who buried the talents, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, so yeah, that's, to me, that's a thought that you should, you know, multiply what you have. Or your talents, could be anything. Your good works, your money, whatever it is, you shouldn't rest on those laurels. So that's how I look at that one.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Boss man, final thoughts. Thank you, Ms. Jenny.
Sure. As always, thanks for having me on the show. I when it comes to the whole political aspect of this entire thing, and now adding in the component and the financial cog of this entire thing, I am in quite of a pickle, because I would go so far as to say I'm a center-leaning Democrat, and I honestly am struggling between keeping true to being a contextualist when it comes to having people's rights to make either the right decision or the wrong decision being truly theirs to make, as it is stated contextually within our Constitution. And whatever their freedoms are, or whatever their decisions are to pursue their happiness, whether it's right or wrong, they have the right to be able to make their decisions. And they also have the right to endure the consequences of their decisions. And if those decisions happen to be within the confines of legality or outside the confines of legality, they have the right to endure those consequences as well. And if this so happens to fuck up their mental, then so be it. I struggle with that faction, but also what's bringing me to the conservative side is more or less the economic faction of things, because of now my status as a husband, as a father of three. Well, one is 19 now, but screw it, father of three. And my duties and responsibilities to them. And the way the economy is going it's affecting my ability to be efficient for them too, provided that decisions that they make, trying to ensure that what's enshrined in our Constitution remains intact, is also affecting my ability to live in the way that I want to live financially, because of the decisions that they're making in a more socialistic kind of that's a new word, socialistic. I'll talk to Webster about that mindset, when we are not so frugal with our own country's finances. So I'm in a pickle. I don't mind saying that, and I don't mind being of difference between everybody else on the panel when I say that. I struggle with this decision, but I would say, if I have any message to provide to anyone listening, is to do your homework, do your research. There's something to learn from everyone. I certainly don't agree with everyone on the panel all the time, but I do learn something from everybody. And have more conversations with people that you differ with. Do not exist in a echo chamber. Get around someone that's able to sharpen your iron.
Thank you, boss man. To make a point off of your point, it's okay to be in the middle, because that's what we meet. We can shake hands and we can agree. That's the only way we're going to be able to move the country forward. Just like you, I too struggle with the same concepts. You know what I'm saying? Especially when you're raised around nothing but liberal people all the time. But I had a hard time trying to wrap my mind around being liberal when all of our actions leaned conservative, And I think what happened was, I think we were conservatives, but we weren't aware that we were conservative. We just went by the name because that's what everybody said. But it wasn't until I was probably about 10 years old, I realized what the difference was when I started reading books and started figuring out exactly what it was. I'm like, okay, it's okay to be conservative. But at the same time, at that time, you're going to be ostracized because the popular thing to do was to be a Democrat, is to be a liberal. You know what I'm saying? So you have to fight against being liked versus being right, And it wasn't until I got older, I was like, I don't care what anybody says. It doesn't matter because I know exactly what's right and what's wrong. But I also have common sense enough to know that in order for you to lead people, you got to be able to see it through their eyes as well too, and understand where they're coming from. So I think that's where the liberal portion comes in, the compassion that comes in and says, hey, you know what? I too was there, but let me show you exactly what I found out over here on the other side. As long as you're in the middle, that means that we can reach out and we can touch, and come to some type of agreement. And I totally understand that's where a lot of people are these days, especially in this political climate where people are trying to wake up and figure out exactly what's best for them. And I think it's probably a shock to the system because it didn't happen. It didn't happen to me as quickly as it's happening for other people. For me, it was a gradual thing because I was younger and I had time to think about it. But these people are having stuff that double over them overnight. Inflation is out of hand. And all they understand is, hey, my life has changed overnight. So I think they're coming into the realization overnight that the Matrix is doing what the Matrix does. But that's also our job too, as content creators, to also paint a picture in which they can see the world in the way that we see it. And sometimes for what the world really is. I want to thank everybody else for coming out tonight. Make sure you guys hit the like button, hit subscribe. Also, make sure you come back and you save this particular show to your favorites because there was a lot of good wisdom that was shared on here. And I want you to make sure that you set this as a piece in your arsenal to build your financial toolbox. So when you find out and you hear something that you can use, you'll always be able to come back and lean on it. I've actually been taking notes all night long as well, too. There has been a lot of great information being brought out. True enough, I've heard all of this stuff, but in this context, it starts to make more sense. Thank you, Boss Man, for coming out. Angry Man, I thank you for coming out. R Payne, Embrace the Grace, Miss Jenny, Izzy Bands, Black Man for making a special guest. Also, I'm going to give a shout out to Trey. I know you probably listening somewhere. Appreciate you. And I want to thank everybody for coming out in the audience as well. If you guys have any questions, you can always feel free to hit us up. Make sure you leave a conversation down in the comment section so we can keep the conversation going. Because I'm pretty sure that if you want to know more about what you heard about tonight, you'll be able to reach out to other folks in the comment section. I want to thank everybody for coming out. Thank you guys for another evening here at Lost in Translation Podcast, also on Black Men Unfiltered Network for Flipping Tables. Thank you guys and good night.